What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincetar, the Courageous Warrior. Not only has Mincetar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high-mobility heroes, the fearless Mincetar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero Skills. We revamped Mincetar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill, Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamped version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Mincetar. Second skill, Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Mincetar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Mincetar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Mincetar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate, King's Calling. Mincetar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Mincetar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Mincetar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Mincetar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high-mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize damage taken. Shield Assault's enhanced basic attacks benefit from attack speed, so Mincetar with a damage build can have incredible burst in the late game. Target key heroes with King's Calling to cripple their mobility in battle. Combo tips. When laning, use Spear of Glory to pull enemy heroes in, then Shield Assault to slow and cut them down with rapid strikes. In teamfights, try to pull as many enemy heroes as possible with Spear of Glory, then use King's Calling to restrict their movement, and finish with Shield Assault for huge damage. Tactics. Mincetar should focus on farming in the early to mid game. Use Shield Assault to reduce incoming damage or to quickly clear out minion waves. In the late game, Mincetar's crowd control really shines in teamfights. Use King's Calling to strip away the enemy's mobility and Shield Assault for a great burst of damage. We recommend this build, with Demon Hunter Sword and Corrosion Scythe as Mincetar's core equipment. Demon Hunter Sword provides much needed lifesteal and attack speed, while Corrosion Scythe adds even more attack speed to really push Shield Assault's damage. Pick the Fighter emblem to boost Mincetar's damage output. For battle spells, Flicker can be a powerful tool in the mid to late game when used with King's Calling to quickly reach and shut down key targets. Petrify is also recommended as an additional CC to maximize Mincetar's damage during Shield Assault. We hope players will have fun with the revamped Mincetar. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
My magic flows as freely as the wind. Name of the winds. The storm is coming. The void is like wind. Listen. It is the sound of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind! Behold, the fury of the wind! Behold, the fury of the wind!
Slain an enemy! Impressive! Under attack! I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. I am Megatron.
Starscream! Bumblebee here and ready to roll!
Meet Grimlock's greatest warrior! Ravage, attack!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincetar, the Courageous Warrior. Not only has Mincetar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high-mobility heroes, the fearless Mincetar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero Skills. We revamped Mincetar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill, Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamped version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Mincetar. Second skill, Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Mincetar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Mincetar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Mincetar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate King's Calling. Mincetar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Mincetar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Mincetar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Mincetar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high-mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize damage taken. Shield Assault's enhanced basic attacks benefit from attack speed, so Mincetar with a damage build can have incredible bursts in the late game. Target key heroes with King's Calling to cripple their mobility in battle. Combo tips. When laning, use Spear of Glory to pull enemy heroes in, then Shield Assault to slow and cut them down with rapid strikes. In teamfights, try to pull as many enemy heroes as possible with Spear of Glory, then use King's Calling to restrict their movement, and finish with Shield Assault for huge damage. Tactics. Mincetar should focus on farming in the early to mid game. Use Shield Assault to reduce incoming damage or to quickly clear out minion waves. In the late game, Mincetar's crowd control really shines in teamfights. Use King's Calling to strip away the enemy's mobility and Shield Assault for a great burst of damage. We recommend this build, with Demon Hunter Sword and Corrosion Scythe as Mincetar's core equipment. Demon Hunter Sword provides much needed lifesteal and attack speed, while Corrosion Scythe adds even more attack speed to really push Shield Assault's damage. Pick the Fighter emblem to boost Mincetar's damage output. For battle spells, Flicker can be a powerful tool in the mid to late game when used with King's Calling to quickly reach and shut down key targets. Petrify is also recommended as an additional CC to maximize Mincithar's damage during shield assault. We hope players will have fun with the Revamp Mincithar. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Magic flows as freely as the wind. Name of the winds. The storm is coming. The void is like wind. Listen. It is the sound of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind.
Slain an enemy. Impressive. Under attack.
Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. I am Megatron.
Starscream. Bumblebee here and ready to roll.
Grimlock's greatest warrior! Ravage, attack!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincithar, the Courageous Warrior. Not only has Mincithar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high-mobility heroes, the fearless Mincithar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero Skills. We revamped Mincithar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill, Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamp version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Mincetar. Second skill, Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Mincetar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Mincetar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Mincetar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate King's Calling. Mincetar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Mincetar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Mincetar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Mincetar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize damage taken. Shield Assault's enhanced basic attacks benefit from attack speed, so Mincetar with a damage build can have incredible bursts in the late game. Target key heroes with King's Calling to cripple their mobility in battle. Combo tips. When laning, use Spear of Glory to pull enemy heroes in, then Shield Assault to slow and cut them down with rapid strikes. In teamfights, try to pull as many enemy heroes as possible with Spear of Glory, then use King's Calling to restrict their movement, and finish with Shield Assault for huge damage. Tactics. Mincetar should focus on farming in the early to mid game. Use Shield Assault to reduce incoming damage or to quickly clear out minion waves. In the late game, Mincetar's crowd control really shines in teamfights. Use King's Calling to strip away the enemy's mobility and Shield Assault for a great burst of damage. We recommend this build, with Demon Hunter Sword and Corrosion Scythe as Mincetar's core equipment. Demon Hunter Sword provides much needed lifesteal and attack speed, while Corrosion Scythe adds even more attack speed to really push Shield Assault's damage. Pick the Fighter emblem to boost Mincetar's damage output. For battle spells, Flicker can be a powerful tool in the mid to late game when used with King's Calling to quickly reach and shut down key targets. Petrify is also recommended as an additional CC to maximize Mincetar's damage during Shield Assault. We hope players will have fun with the revamped Mincetar. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Magic flows as freely as the wind. Name of the winds. The storm is coming. The void is like wind. Listen. It is the sound of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind.
Slain an enemy. Impressive. Under attack. Killing spree. Double kill.
Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. I am Megatron.
Starscream. Bumblebee here and ready to roll.
Meet Grimlock's greatest warrior! Ravage, attack!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincetar, the Courageous Warrior. Not only has Mincetar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high-mobility heroes, the fearless Mincetar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero Skills. We revamped Mincetar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill. Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamped version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Mincetar. Second skill, Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Mincetar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Mincetar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Mincetar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate King's Calling. Mincetar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Mincetar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Mincetar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Mincetar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high-mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize.
Welcome back everyone to the North American Battle Arena. This is going to be day 3 for the semi-finals today. Again, this is a monthly hosted tournament every month towards the end of the week. There is going to be a 50k diamond prize pool. This is going to be round of 8. Today for the matches, we do have Foreign Famous versus Akatsuki, my bad, Trex, I know you're in the back. Akatsuki at 8 o'clock, which is 5 o'clock my time right here. We started a little bit late, and then after that match we do have MTY ESPORTS versus Ackerman. This is going to be a best of 3 series today, and today for our casters we have Trex, Deku, and a special guest, Assassin Dave. Now, they can't hear you yet. I'm gonna go straight into the draft. Hopefully it is working. It is not working. You got me fucked up. Okay, give me a second. But they could wait, can they hear you guys? I don't even know if they can hear you guys. Give me a second. Yeah, best intro ever, but now they can hear you guys. It is a black screen so far, but I'm going to add the video capture device. Sometimes, you know, it's just some small technical issues. I definitely should have went through this a little bit before I started the stream, but we will be dealing with it regardless. Welcome everyone in the chat. I know a lot of mods are up here. Sir known Cyrif. So you get situated real quick. Here, I'll even show you guys my face before this even happens. Give me a second, guys. There's my face. At least you guys get to see something. Have a little bit of a show.
Me and Dave are trapped in the darkness.
Oh, boom. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful.
All right.
But yes, we do have an ACT caster, also M series caster, Mr. Trex in the building, and we have the NACT director, the guy of all things from Moontoon. We got Mr. Assassin Dave. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. Cannot be better. Thank you for having me. I'm your boy Assassin Dave. With me, the talented, one and only sexy and charming Trex. How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing very good, Dave. Somehow I feel like me and you always end up on some of these tournaments together. It's always a pleasure. Now, so tonight we have Foreign Famous up against AKASUKI, right, Dave?
Yes. Yes,
Right now,
we do have Foreign Famous in AKASUKI.
Foreign Famous is blue side right now?
Foreign Famous is the red side.
Red side. Now, you have, you know this team pretty well, don't you, Dave?
I know some of the players in the team. It's a newly formed team, so they are obviously still adjusting, in my opinion. And then from what I heard with a conversation with the players, these five actually, because all of them are busy professionals and students, they're doing internships, so they're actually quite busy. They haven't got a chance to actually grind the fireman ranked or whatnot. So now they got a chance to play this tournament and, you know, did an incredible job. Did you watch the game yesterday? They actually got, I think they took down Zero's team.
Okay, all right. I like it, I like it. Looking at the draft, so far we have Valentina picked up by YUWEI. So YUWEI's on team AKASUKI. We know Death, we know Jules Cutie. Some of the faces do look familiar on the side of AKASUKI here. And overall, I think the major thing that I'm interested in is this Ministar ban and how meta he's going to be as things continue on. On the side of Foreign Famous, I think the most interesting pick right now is probably the Julian. I'm wondering if it's going to be a mid lane EXP. That's kind of my question on the board right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Julian... You think Julian is a character that is worth banning? I feel like Julian, yes, the damage got improved. Yes, the cooldown got reduced. But is it viable right now? Like, it still needs a level 3, which is good, especially as a mid laner, you know, or a side laner, right? When you, as a skill laner, you get level 3 pretty fast. And you leave the rest of the experience to a mid lane. So from that perspective, it's decent. It's pretty decent. And by the way, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a mid lane Julian. Because Mizu plays this character really well.
I mean, it's kind of a decent pick against the Valentina just because there's not a whole lot to steal. It's not like you're giving over a feathered airstrike. It's not like you're giving over a real world manipulation or something like that. There is pick potential with it. But yeah, I feel at times it can be a little clunky. And you don't offer much zoning that certain other mages give. It's not, it is mobile. It's good at escaping, but I don't think it has as fast as rotations as the Valentina has. And I don't think it gives as much utility as the Valentina does. But if they want to play kind of pressure, if they want to play from bushes, ambush style, it can do that. Possible ganks onto Chalice on this Melissa in the gold lane. So there are some opportunities there with it, but definitely a questionable pick. Coming into the second phase, though, seems like the side of Foreign Famous want to ban out some assassins here, towards the side of AKASUKI are banning more into the roam position.
Yeah. And also another thing I want to mention, I think the reason why that Team Foreign Famous opt to go with Julian is there's not too good of an ultimate you can copy, right, with Julian. It's similar to a lot of scenarios when you pick, they like to play Selena and Julian. And those characters, like even if you copy Valentina ultimate, like what are you going to do with it, right? There's almost nothing you can do. And now we have Lapu being taken out. This character is still one of the most popular in NACT so far. I mean, actually this is not NACT, but in the entire North America community, in the top community, this character is so good, so universal. On the side lane, didn't lose to anyone, and have decent wave clear and also decent flank with the qual control community.
Yeah, I mean, the Lapu's definitely clutch, but what my eyes are on right now is definitely this Fanny that just got plugged in. And the fact that they were able to hold on and wait and make it a last pick Fanny makes it even more clutch because it just doesn't give the side of Form Famous much to counter against it, right? And now, even now, the Cho going to get picked up. I think at this point, yeah, Franco. my thoughts exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they need something to lock this guy down. Just like you said, all the support characters are banned away, right? The Mythar is a support choice still. Akaja, we have Akai, which is also decent now, to be honest. But obviously, you have to use the only opportunity for you to stop the Fanny is gonna be the ultimate, and if you somehow not able to get a good position, it's kind of bad also. Now, one other option that is doable is Grok. You know, Grok can use a skill too. To really block the Fanny from engaging a lot of scenarios or completely mess with the cable. Right. Another thing is Grok can actually offer a lot of wave clear for Julian in the early game because we mentioned Julian's gonna be a mid laner for Form Famous in this game. But obviously they opt to go with Akai, and now all of a sudden the early game is not looking as strong as some other support choices.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Akai, yes, it's an option like you said, but it doesn't. Unless you get the pin, it's really just going to protect you from the Fanny. It's not going to lock down the Fanny. Before we get any farther, we are jumping into game 1 of a best of 3. This is AKASUKI on the blue side going up against Foreign Famous on the red side. Definitely excited to see how this is going to go. If you had to give it to either side right now, Dave, who are you giving it to?
Wow. Put me on the spot right away. Let's take a look. Off the draft immediately. I like the early game coming out from the side of AKASUKI. Fanny's going to be really, really strong at level 2. Chao's really, really powerful. So we're expecting a little bit of invade. You can see Chao's already making his way into the jungle. And this is going to transition to more invade, right? Because, Chao actually did not keep on going. Because if you kept on going, they could have possibly burned the retreat, right, from the Martis. And they opt to play a little bit more passive. Now, I was about to give AKASUKI more points in the early game because of the Chao to Fanny, but that didn't happen. And now it's a little bit more peaceful. Is it me or it's just me or the screen's flickering?
Oh, it's a little bit, but I know Hoy,
okay.
and I'm also wondering if we're gonna move off this Hoy view. But overall, a little bit of an engage in the mid. Nothing too crazy happening totally. I think at this point a lot is going to come down. I mean, for the side of AKASUKI, they have a few options here, right? They have late game with the Melissa. They have early game with this Fanny. They also have good pick potential from Jules Cutie. So I feel like they have a lot there. Now on the side of Foreign Famous, I think some of the things they're lacking. Myth going to be able to pick up a nice first blood onto that Martis, and that's a problem because this was about to be a win condition for the side of Foreign Famous. Is that Martis scaling early on?
Yeah, absolutely. I would just mention, like, the early game is looking pretty strong. And you pointed out absolutely correctly regarding the late game skill potential with Melissa. And now we have more kills going across the map to the favor of AKASUKI. I mean, this is just helping them scale. Right? Like, you have a character like Melissa that's going to outscale in a lot of cases. Especially against a character like Akai, if you can't get to Melissa, with one ult, you're out of the area. You can't touch Melissa anymore, and she's just going to kill everybody.
Definitely, and I mean at this point Turtle is up, waiting to see if Foreign Famous even want to try to contest it. Martis all the way up at the top side. I think right now AKASUKI have full reign over it, but this is, I mean, Mizu's doing the right thing. He's sitting in this bush, he's waiting for the possible pick off onto someone, which he tries to go for it, does kind of miss there. That's a little bit of utility gone. He doesn't have an ult right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to even fight for this, but Myth kind of knows that. He's going to try to make a pick up on the top side, coming down on a Capitan. Ed taking a lot of damage. Myth not able to get finished. Back at the turtle pit. A little bit of an engage. Am looking for the Akai to make a play, but Chalice tries to get the play, can't. Martis able to secure the turtle, and on the top side, Chalice goes down. Myth, though, finally involved into this fight here. Able to pick up one, make it two. Hoy able to pick up the Akai. Jules Cutie on the run. Misku tries to flicker in, isn't able to get it, and now Hoy gonna fend them at bay. Overall, I do think it is a trade into the side of AKASUKI holding a gold lead. Here comes Myth, able to pick up another kill onto the Martis.
Oh my god, it's always good to see those infinite cables, right? It reminds me of season 2. You know, it's like this old time. And by the way, just now, Claude made a beautiful play on the top side, right? That actually just helped him so much. He got a solo kill 1v2 to Chalice, and I think stayed alive. And Fanny have to go to the turtle pit. Eventually killed the Martyrs, but nonetheless, I think Foreign Famous played pretty well. And this is a team known for coming back, right? Yesterday, they pulled a comeback against Zero's team. And today, can they do something similar? Because late game, if you look at the entire side of Foreign Famous, they also have the potential to team fight as well. They have the Lapu Lapu who can go to the backline, go to the Valentina, go to the Melissa, and they have Claude as well. So both sides have skilling. It's all come down to execution. And then we mentioned it's going to be kind of hard for Akai to pin the Melissa, to pin the Fanny. But there's always an opportunity, right? They do call Akai a semi-counter to Fanny for a reason because of the spin. So it all depends on execution. You know, who is able to find engage better. But right now, Mizu has not found too much luck in combos.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be easy. I mean, Mizu, same thing. It's going to be, I think, the same problem for Lousy and Capitan later on. A lot of dashy heroes on the side of AKASUKI right now. A lot of movement, a lot of mobility. So it's going to be hard to get some of those counters off. Every time Mizu comes in, he needs to make sure that some of those skills have already been used, or he's never going to be able to catch Hoi. He's never going to be able to catch Myth, and it's going to be very difficult to catch some of the other heroes as well. So same thing with Chalice. Capitan want to go down. The go away comes out. Myth trying to lock on, not quite able to find it. Jules Cutie coming in from the backside with the way of the dragon. Nice unstoppable kill from Myth onto Capitan there. Hoi having a little bit of trouble, but should be able to get away safely on the mid side. AKASUKI taking a little bit of a lead here.
Oh my goodness, Foreign Famous. I mean, I feel like Capitan is doing a really good job, but I mean, he's doing an extremely good job at taking on pressure on the top side, right? He's been 1v2, 1v3 for the entire game so far. And at the same time, Foreign Famous has been taking turtle. So it's not like he's losing the lane straight up. It's 5 minutes in, 5 minutes 30 seconds already, and we're looking at 1,000 gold difference. That's not much difference at all. You know, so like right now, Foreign Famous is doing an extremely good job. Again, it's both sides have skilling, but it does seems like that the side of Team AKASUKI has opened up the first tower, which usually turns into more and more snowballing and skilling. Speaking of that, here comes more fights in the mid lane.
I think both teams kind of taking it slow at this point. AKASUKI, I know they have a bit of an advantage here, about 2,000. They have now finally gotten that gold lane tower. So Melissa's able to rotate to the bottom side. Going to have a little bit more advantage getting into some of these fights. Myth trying to make plays, has found a couple, but hasn't been able to fully execute. But still, 5-0-0 is a good start for Myth.
Yeah, if you look at individual gold, right? Let's compare it to the hyper carry gold. Melissa right now has 4,300 gold, finishing one item. The steel plate. Oh, here before that,
Jules, big way of the dragon. In comes Myth, not quite able to get finished, but then under the tower, able to pick up the kill. Shiesty on fleek, gonna have to back off here. Kai looking for the possible setup. They just want to defend this tower, but it looks like AKASUKI doesn't want to give it up. Mizu looking for a possible play, but overall, Foreign Famous not able to respond.
Yeah. Dude, this Fanny right now is 6-0-0, right? It's early game, he's already established that control. And this is gonna scale further scarier into the mid game, right? But eventually we know, like towards the late game, once Claude have the core items, the 3 core items, including Wind of Nature, it's gonna help him out a little bit more, right? To survive in the scenarios. And obviously Mizu, being a character that has a skill too, has the mobility, he's gonna survive a little bit longer. And here we go, top side.
Myth is haunting, man. He is searching, but Death is going to get stunned up by that bravest fighter. Back on the mid side, not too much happening. Death going to be able to get away from that one, but Myth is going to pick up this purple buff, and then I think we might be able to see a fight for this turtle.
Ooh. It is fighting for sure. I mean, Glue is just being a glue monster.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bulky guy. Death should be able to get away from this safely. Hui founds Lao Z. Mizu trying to be on the run, but in comes Myth, looking for the cutthroat, picking up the godlike. A nice pick from Myth once again, putting him at 7-0-0, and they're going to have full prio over this objective if they want it.
Yeah, good job from Death over there. Really show up the power of the glue monster. That's why they call him a monster, for sure. And just, oh, here we go, a little bit more engaged. But Capitan is able to find a kill this time.
Yeah, Jules will go down. Capitan's going to need that kill. Lord is up now. Turtle's gone, and it looks like that's what they were waiting for. They didn't want to waste their time with that third turtle. We're going to go right into this Lord. Lousy, though, looking for a possible steal here. Does have the bravest fighter. Waiting for the dive, not able to get it. Myth finds the Lord, moves on, get knocks up, and finally a shutdown comes in onto this Fanny.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful job.
Gonna go down here. Lao Z and the rest of the team gonna make a stand, a fight back, and a good win at that.
We call that win the turtle and lose the game, you know? That's the vibe today. it's literally what happened. Yeah, good job from Mizu. This is a mage player that's more like an assassin playstyle, and you can see from the way he plays. He's very accurate with Selena on the stuns, on the snipes, and he's really accurate on the knockups. The prediction on this player is quite insane. Right? You see how this guy is with prediction, right, on the maneuver. It's really good. But before that,
you know, I don't know, man. I think Chalice is going to start to become a real problem. I know they have the late game on Foreign Famous with Capitan, but I don't know, man. The Melissa's scary.
Hey, it only takes one combo from the Julian, right, to one-shot someone like Melissa. See, the thing about Julian is, if this assassin could find himself onto you, if you get caught in like a tiny combo, like that's almost all of your HP, right? Especially talking about a squishy marksman. If you get caught in the close range, that might just be death with the 3-1-2 combo or like 1-3-2 combo. Doesn't matter how you do it. So Legan skilling, like they have it. Here we go. More fights.
A lot of damage does come onto Death there. Death looking for something. Uses a split. Heavy spin comes out as well. Myth coming in with the cutthroat onto the tower. Gonna get locked up here. Pinned to the wall and taken out. Chalice though able to take the tower, respond, take out Lao Z. Looks like a possible nice way of the dragon. Down goes Capitan. Boy now looking for the strike. Pops in, uses the decimation against them with the Maniac. Will it be a savage? Holy crap, I've never seen a Valentina steal that one and use it so well.
Oh my god, is that the best Valentina Savage ever?
That might be, that might be. Normally it's a feathered airstrike, normally it's something else. But he takes the decimation. Wow. Wow.
What did I just witness? That was insane. You know, to be honest, the entire team worked to get YUWEI to get that Savage, so that's just definitely a highlight moment. I want to see more of these. You know, like this is insane. Right now, Martis is in between a rock and a hard place, right? Do I get close to YUWEI for him to copy that ult and use it against me? Because this is clearly the better Martis player. So, just kidding. But that was an insane Savage there. Very nicely done. I mean, let's take a look at item right here. Captain just finished the corrosion side, and he has finished 3 core items, right? So if you finish 1 core item Wind of Nature, this guy is good to go. And look at the jungle item. 7,600 gold on Martis. He's quite tanky now. He doesn't have much, I guess I should say, magical defense item. And look at jungler come from Fanny, 75. So despite the fact Fanny has many kills, Martis is not behind on farm, right? He's very tanky in the front line, and he's going to cause the problem to the other side if he caught people off guard with the decimation. So it's interesting how kills are not playing so much of a role in Mobile Legends anymore. It's more of a just macro management.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Micro, macro kills can come. I mean, like gold, right? If it snowballs into a certain effect, but we've seen it many times, right? We've seen teams very behind, still able to come back in a fight. All it takes is that combo. All it takes is that one big play. I do think Foreign Famous have it in them, but it's definitely not going to be easy. Death going to get pushed into the back line here, get pinned, but he's just a sacrificial pawn for that Lord. YUWEI now trying to come in. Does have the decimation ready to go once again with the IMU. Nice knock up, a lot of damage on a Chalice. Chalice goes down. In comes the Blazing Duet, and there's the combo we wanted. It's a 4-man wipe, nothing but Myth left on the field. They get the Lord, but we're trying to take the game.
Oh my god, the history. We're seeing that happening. Yeah, this is history repeating itself, right? History will have this pattern to repeat itself, has this the quality, the characteristic of repeating itself, and sure enough, right? Win Lord and lose game. And that's the motto of the day, the slogan of the day. It doesn't matter if you take the Lord, you know, if you lose a team fight immediately afterwards, it's just not worth it. Look at what happens with this Lord. Despite the fact that we have the Lord taken by the side of AKASUKI, we're shrinking the goal difference. But before that, Trex.
Looking like a lot of damage on the Lao Z. Chalice stacking up. My question is that the foreign famous like motto right there? Like lose Lord, win game. Are there T-shirts of that? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I
mugs.
think
I need a hat that says that. You know.
that's gonna be a banger shirt, to be honest. Lose Lord, win game. The motto is who cares about objectives, right? We're going for the heads. You know, we're just going for the kills. This is more of an FPS game for us. Okay, that's what matters. You know, that's exactly what they're pulling off right now. It's just look at the kills. 11 kills, pretty decent. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there's another one. Boy, taking a lot of damage. Capitan able to take that up. El Capitan picking up another one for the team.
Yo, I like that engage, clean engage coming out from our Kai. Play by Jinxi right there, right? Just now, he used the skill 1 flicker combo, right, for the knockup, and then immediately used the pain afterwards because he saw the Valentina walking into the bush. Very, very good. And also, there was immediate follow-up from the entire team that tells you their team will synergize on this engage. And we need to see more and more of that coming out from the entire team. Actually, for the entire NA, for the top 8 teams in current NCT, that's going to be so good for the entire ecosystem, right? Because right now we're seeing a lot of disorganized engages where tank goes in, the team doesn't follow up. But in the scenario just now, actually, that was a beautiful engage, right? Akai followed up, Akai jumped in, and he immediately followed up from the rest of the team. Oh, here comes the conceal play.
Yeah, looking for something. I think they're trying to gain ground here, right? They still have to be careful. One of them walks into Chalice at the wrong time. One of them walks into Jules Cutie into the Way of a Dragon at the wrong time. It can be issues. And that's kind of what I like from Foreign Famous. They're sticking together here. They know they're still at a little bit of a deficit.
Oh!
Pith picks up Mizu. And that's exactly why they're grouping up, because someone gets caught off alone and they're going down.
Yep.
Oh, heavy spin though, coming in, able to get the pick onto Death, but he's taking a lot of damage. Chalice on the backside, able to bring Akai down to about half health there, but Capitan leading the fight once again. Lord is up though. Does Foreign Famous contest this?
I don't know.
Not if they stick to the motto, right?
Not if they stick to the motto. I mean, like, no contest the objective. Go for the heads. And that's exactly what they've been doing. Dude, they have the vengeance on the quad. And what does that tell you? It tells you they are going for the heavy fights, you know? Like, how does vengeance benefit you? You know, you have to go trade with the other marksman, right? And if you activate your ultimate, activate the vengeance, and then Melissa activate Inspire, they'll attack you. It's almost suicide mission, right? You're gonna take so much damage, and while you're doing the damage. So they're going for the team fights, they're going for the kills. But speaking of team fight tracks, a little bit more poke here.
Jules is hunting, man. He's also head hunting. He's waiting. Lord's going to be coming. They're already down their middle inhibitor, right? So I got a feeling that the side of AKASUKI going to try to maybe push these side lanes in. We can see Death on the bot side. We can see YUWEI in the top side as well. And then Jules just going to look for a big pick in the mid side. It's going to be really up to Capitan. Melting down this Lord as fast as possible. I think they can defend this, though, as long as they don't make a big mistake.
Yeah, but at the same time, AKASUKI is being very, very patient. Tracks like they're another engage.
Myth gonna be able to cable away though, and it puts Akai in a very bad spot. A lot of damage coming in. Capitan melted down from Chalice. Myth will get caught off as well, along with Jules Cutie, but the Lord has locked on. Nothing but Death and Chalice Hoy on the field. The rest of Foreign Famous trying to defend, but Mizu gonna get picked off, and this could be the end of game one here. They're not even locking the base. They're looking for kills. Hoy trying to get that KDA up, but the base goes down, and AKASUKI take game one.
Wow. What an execution, right? From game one, to be honest. I think like AKASUKI, towards the later stages of the game, start playing really cautiously and more organized instead of people dying or losing the team fight immediately after Lord. Like that Lord execution was good, especially coming out from Myth's timing. He's going to find those picks every single time right before objective happens, right? So 6 seconds before Lord spawn, that's when he find a kill onto Mizu, onto the Julian. And that gave the team such a huge advantage. Even with the Kai's ultimate, they realized they don't have any damage to follow up because Julian was their main burst, so they have to back away. And after the Lord, we've seen a very disciplined move coming out from AKASUKI, which helped them move step by step into the base. And obviously, sometimes when a team function on such discipline, it's really hard for you to have any counter plan, right? There's not too much you can do when you have 3 waves of Superman and charging to your base with the Lord slamming on top of the crystal as well. So it's rough, but nonetheless, a good showing from Foreign Famous in this game.
Yeah, they were able to hold on. They were able to hang on to that game for much longer than I think a lot of us expected. Taking a look at YUWEI, taking a look at Myth, able to take the lead in damage. But honestly, YUWEI, man. YUWEI, whatever you want to call him, 36% damage on his team. Able to get a Savage that game. Definitely a well-deserved MVP on his side, of my belief. I think one of the major problems there is just that Fanny, right? I feel like Fanny is the only hero through all these years that if you're able to pick it in the end of a draft like that, it's like, oh man, this is bad, you know, like you know the next word. It's a problem, and like snap, like no hero still holds that kind of weight. I feel like of course you pick a Fanny up front, then like yes. All right, we can try to counter this, but you pick a Fanny, pick 4, pick 5, and the other team has nothing to deal with it. I mean, it's almost like a predetermined GG sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like Fanny is a character is just so like the character. If the player is good with it, in this case, we've seen the Fanny being really, really good, right? Myth has been by the way, is Myth known for some other teams? Because these players keep on changing names. So I don't know either. Like their names keep on changing, but we've seen how this guy play a Fanny. I think next game it warrants a ban, right? Because Fanny just offers so much map presence and surprise kills, especially when Fanny goes a little bit of damage. We've seen what happened. What a Fanny can do was in like half a second engage onto someone like Julian, right? Because Mizu is a full assassin player. He builds full damage, right? He doesn't have any defense item. If you're caught off guard, that's a matter of 2 seconds elimination. You know, so let's see if Foreign Famous is going to ban this. By the way, a side tip: the Lao Zi player, his name is actually pronounced as Lao Zi. Yeah, you did a perfect job. That's great. You knows exactly what I'm talking about. This is actually a great moment to learn some Asian pronunciations.
Okay.
But obviously, this is not really.
What about the Akai? What's his name?
The Kai's name is called Cringe. No, I'm just kidding. His name is called Jinxi.
Jinxi? Jinxi?
Yeah.
We're learning.
But imagine you're casting like this. Like this is an interesting pronunciation about like Asian words, right? Like Chinese words. Because if you pronounce like Lao Zi, like the sound doesn't really, it dies off towards the end. Imagine it dies off when you're casting. But here comes Lao Zi. You're like, what do you say? It's so weird.
I got this. Lao Zi.
Yes.
We're going to find a way to make it hype. We'll try to find a way to make it hype. Lao Zi. I don't know.
Oh, you've made it work for sure. Oh, here comes the Kaja and Joy Band, Mythithar and 1-1. Now, very interestingly, Mythithar is allowed in the tournament, so I have never seen Mythithar being taken out yet. This character is too strong. It cannot be released into the game, should I say. The Kraken's too powerful. But are we going to see a Fanny ban? Because if Fanny's not banned, we might see a Fanny first pick, unless Team Foreign Famous decide to go with something different, right? Unless they want to go with something like Moscow, you know, go with something like a Franco or a Kufra, just for the counter. You know, I think they can do that.
Yeah, I think they could. I mean, I think this time, even if they you don't have to ban the Fanny, but you need to at least pick some heroes to be ready for it, right? Like you said, maybe the Kufra, the Franco, the Moskov, maybe both. Maybe pick the Moskov and the Kufra or something, but you definitely need to be prepared for it. The Cho, something to deal with that, because if they don't and they get caught with their pants down again, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Ooh, Arlot first pick. Now, I heard about the legend of Arlot. And then the legend, the myth of this character, because I don't know if people know, Arlo actually has one of the lowest win rates in a lot of tournaments. Like this character is flashy and obviously offer a lot of lane presence at level 2. Really, really powerful character. A lot of
kind of overrated.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Even though the trading potential is really strong, but it does feel a little bit overrated. Now, again, I have not seen a good, like a powerful enough Arlot player that just put me wrong. You know, because I had the same idea of a character called Benedetta quite a while ago until I met a player called Stanford, right, from Echo in MPL. that player just played the character to such a level. Because I was like, why do we ban this at the time when we're in Asia watching scrims and just watch different Benedetta lose and lose and lose? And then Sanford showed up in the scrim, and you're like, oh my God.
That's why you ban it sometimes.
Yeah, that's why you ban it sometimes. So maybe this player is going to show us some different, but obviously really good counter pick with the Kufa come out from the other side. And I like the Jinshi picking on a Minotaur. By the way, he was US number one or number two Minotaur for quite some time. Maybe he still is.
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about it though. And taking a look at the side of AKASUKI, they picked up the Kufra, and they do have the Martis this time, so maybe they're not going to pick up the Fanny. But again, they could still flex the Martis. But just seeing that Kufra makes me fear that, like, ooh, maybe they're looking for a Fanny again. They're taking rid of some of the issues that they could have with it.
Yeah.
Now, Minotaur. Old Mini boy. Old Minotaur. I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. I guess against these two heroes, against the Martis, against like fighters, the potential is there. But you're really gonna have to be able to use it right.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the timing on this is quite small because Lapu has immunity right now. Martis has immunity, right? So the thing about Minotaur is right now the ultimates are quite easy to get, but I think a lot of teams missed the mark. I feel like the tank meta is so powerful because we've seen Lancelot going tank, right? Obviously, Karina has been tank for quite some time now. Every single jungler you play, unless it's one of those flashy assassins, high mobility, like Fanny, like Ling, like Hayabusa, we usually seen assassin going full tank. Even Lancelot it's high mobility, but because Lancelot have to be like heavily rely on like, within the combat is go in and dash, dash, dash. Even Lancelot is building tank. What teams could have done is try the Minotaur tank. Now, I'm not saying that out of my ass, right? Oh, should I say that? Should I word it? Out of my booty, more family friendly. PC word. But it's actually pretty good because if you jungle with this character, it's very tanky. It's kind of like a Kai with a really powerful ultimate at objective zoning, right? Like a turtle fight, a lore fight. If you get close, that's when Minotaur slam the ultimate, right? The Minonian's Fury, and then, change the landscape of the team fight. So it definitely has potential, but I feel like it's not caught on fire yet. It hasn't caught the momentum.
Yeah, I think it's more just like other heroes can supply kind of the same thing, right?
True.
Like an Atlas can also get a big 3-man set, and I feel like the range of the Fatal Links is about the same as Minoan's Fury.
No way!
Maybe the Minoan's Fury is a little bit better at zoning for a longer amount of time, but I just feel like other heroes can kind of supply just as much CC just in their own way. Absolutely.
And by the way, like, not to like blow up this character, not to like tune the horn of Minotaur. In the current meta, the support we've seen like one of the most popular support being Lolita, right? The reason being, we need a roam characters that can actually sustain from a marksman, right? Because marksman late game is too powerful. The tank doesn't survive. Minotaur is one of the characters that can survive a little bit longer because of skill 2. If you're in rage form, you're immune to auto attack. In fact, the people who auto attack you more, you actually heal more, right? So it's interesting how this character works. But I definitely agree with you. Like, I feel like the early game is weak, and then it doesn't offer too much on the table. A lot of things that it can do can be replaced. Go ahead.
Maybe I become a believer, maybe I become a believer here. I'm never against seeing a new hero come in. We see it all the time sometimes, something becomes meta. But he's going to have to prove it here. Is going to be a lot of true damage from that carry, so could be a problem. On the side of Foreign Famous here, though, they pick up the Lunox in the gold lane, which I kind of like here. A lot of escapability with the Brilliance from the Kufra, from the Martis, from the Lapu. Not as easy as a target as any other marksman would be for some of those divey heroes.
Interesting draft. A really heavy dive.
Yeah.
They're going for the one shot. If we get it, we win big. If we lose it, it's over. Like, type of draft. Like, this is it. I mean, like, it's best of 3. They have one last chance remaining. At this time, they're literally all-in, right? This is the all-in draft. If they win this, if they execute the team fight properly, execute this game properly, it's gonna look really good. It's gonna people looking back and be like, oh, this team is, they have a lot of profits in the team. right? They can foresee the future. But if they don't execute the assassin comp well, it's gonna be, you know, backfiring on them. Like you have Kagura, which is a character. The reason why Kagura is not played that much, it takes so much time for the character to scale. Yes, Kagura still has so much mobility compared to any other mage, and it's considered a counter to a lot of like squishy marksmen and immobile characters like Farsa in the back line. But this character takes so much time.
Bad, yeah.
Yes, like you cannot clear wave. Like it takes time for you to scale. But yet, like I said, you know, Foreign Famous, a team like to surprise us. They took the comp like this to beat a Zero's team, one of the best assassin players in North America. So maybe they're gonna show us something different today. But looking at the side of AKASUKI, Kadita in the end to work with the Kufra, are we gonna see that wombo combo, or is this gonna be Foreign Famous comeback?
I mean, only time will tell. This is AKASUKI leading 1-0 on match point. Foreign Famous trying to fight back here and putting a lot on the line, as you said, right? Now, some things I think we missed out on, right? They did bring in some of the CC with this Minotaur, right? And then Arlott is going to be able to capitalize on that, right? If they can get some big combos here, he's going to have a lot of dash possibility with all the CC around, because the more people are CC'd, the more he can dash in and out and through these team fights. So a lot of options there. On the side of Foreign Famous, I feel like once again, they bring some nice early game in their jungle, and they have a nice late game security in their marksman. So just kind of well-rounded.
Yeah, I like the very interesting rotation coming out from Foreign Famous early game. You can see that what they're doing is working out for them for sure, right? Their lane are winning. Arla is already beating Lapu to 50% health, right? Because the dual lane topside in the early game. And now we have Minotaur, who is doing pretty well in lane as well. Oh, Haya. That was pretty. Snatch that. We'd like to see Haya snatch more objectives, you know? We've seen Fallen. Remember Simpson Fallens? I think Fallen joined Gosu now, but Fallen was known as a stealing god. Maybe we'll see some you know, different kind of Haya today.
Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are different there. With the Hayabusa, they're going to be able to dance around a lot. It's not going to be an easy target for the rest. Up in the top side, though, Lau taking a little bit of damage, but should be able to stand still. On the boss side, though, Capitan might just go down here, but the the Minotaur comes in. No Minoan's Fury just yet. Doesn't have level 4. But Chalice in a very bad spot. 2 members wiped out. A good pick with that all-in composition from the side of Foreign Famous.
Nice rotation for sure, but obviously it gives the position for the turtle because they rotated bottom lane at 2 minutes, and which is a decent okay, because even if the game loses the turtle, if you look at the gold, Foreign Famous is still going to be 1,000 gold ahead, right? Because they got 2 kills, and that kills early game gives a lot of gold. It's all about how to snowball with the gold, because if you maintain that, the gold, how effective that gold is will shrink. You know, it's all about return of investment. So like right now, the early game seems like they're 1,000 gold ahead, but if it doesn't expand, if it doesn't turn into more objectives like stealing buff, taking a tower, taking more objectives, taking gold plates, that gold difference is, the 1,000 gold is not going to make a difference 5 minutes from now. So you can see they're maintaining that, and bottom lane gold plates being a little bit shredded. And if Capitan got this damage rank, because right now he's 0-0-2, sitting pretty well, getting quite a bit of you know, gold cannons. Oh. But if he is able to scale enough, he can one-shot the carry, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a strong believer that sometimes if you can get the pick in the gold lane, if you can get the gank, then it's definitely worth giving up that first turtle, right? It's just kind of risky, right? And sometimes it's safer to just go for the turtle, but Capitan, once again, in a little bit of a bad spot. Forced to darkness dash away, trying to get the 1v1 versus Chalice, but Jules Cutie able to help Chalice secure that. Mizu, though, with the flame shot. You're not taking my teammate without revenge.
That's why he takes the flame shot. I mean, how many people still take this? Oh, that another kill. So we were talking about how initially Foreign Famous was winning lane, but before we talk about that, Trex,
too much. Shiesty should be able to get away from this. Minotaur going to try to re-engage, but honestly, just creating space, Dave.
Yeah, just creating space. It's interesting. I was mentioning how Foreign Famous was winning lane early on, but now they're making the same mistakes that I always criticize team making, which is like once they have the advantage, start playing like Renegades, you know, which is like, okay, I can, Dave, watch me do this and die immediately afterwards, right? It's just karma, you know? Like that's what happens is when you're winning, that's when you need to discipline. That's when you need to buckle down on basics. That's the most important thing in mobile, right? Because like when you're not winning, that like especially when you're behind, that's when you need to find those super sneaky plays that people think, okay, this is a troll, but it turned out to be working out. Because if you try to play by the book and you're behind, people expect you to do that, right? People expect you to stay in base. You're gonna lose no matter what. But when you're ahead, you have to play that book. But speaking of that,
that's a lot of damage from YUWEI there. This is going to become a problem. Another objective goes down, and as you said, the tables are starting to turn. In the rage form, Minotaur looking for something there, but still, Foreign Famous find the pick, they back off, they get the objectives, and it's true. You know, when you have that lead, you need to be able to, you got to be able to keep it right. You can't get too crazy, and that's kind of what Foreign Famous did here, and now the lead has now left them.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the lead, they have two people coming. Right? And like Capitan just now on the bottom side, he could have just walked away with the life form, but he decided to fight 1v2, and then it's not like he committed. He was like a half-ass on the fight. Oh, speaking of fighting bottom side, here we go.
Shadow kill, trying to come in, looking for something. Capitan as well. Jules goes down, and the pincer maneuver works out great. 3 members down on the side of AKASUKI.
I like what I'm seeing, Trex. I like what I'm seeing. You know, this is Foreign Famous sometimes. You know, for a team like this, obviously they make the mistakes, and you've seen, oh, that, you know, they're trolling. This is the team that gets your blood boiling, right? You're like, oh, it's so so much joy to watch these team fights because it requires a lot of synergy for the team to synergize. And here we go.
Yeah, nice response on to death there. Darkness Force comes out. He's able to get a little bit of life back from the minions, but Capitan picks up the kill. 2-1-5.
Whew. Now Mizu is sitting at 4-3. We're talking about this character takes scaling, but Mizu is finding those kills, you know? Doesn't matter how he got it. The flame shot kills. Somebody may call it a kill steal, but I call it kill secure, right? Didn't use skill, and get a kill is what takes the skill, you know? So, like, and Mizu is really good at snipe. It was a sniping kill, should I say. Right, so 4-3, and this guy is sitting at, like, if you take a look at gold, I'm pretty sure he's sitting at a lot of farm right now. Let's take a look. 4,400 gold compared to 41. Actually, not that far ahead compared to Kadita. So they both have the one-shot potential. It all comes down to who plays the assassin better, who's able to camp vision and find the kill into the back line. And now GG has the ultimate. This might be a big fight, Trex.
Most definitely. The umbrella is coming out from Mizu, but in comes Myth, able to take that. Now he's going to try to take a little bit more. Jules and YUWEI along with Death. Death does have the bravest fighter. He's going to come in, get the stun with the flicker, and the rest of the team shred him up. That's 2 members down, Shiesty and Minotaur. Capitan Ed trying to keep them away, but a beautiful play from the side of AKASUKI. Oh, not another one. Capitan in a very bad spot. Does not have the ult. Not going to be able to get away from that one. Jules Cutie picking up the kill.
Wow. Win objective, lose fight. You know, and so we thought as a moto for Foreign Famous, looks like it works on them as much as it works for them, right? So they didn't even win the turtle, by the way. They lost the turtle and lost the fight, so it was double bad, right? But I think just now you see the full display of winning EXP, how much significance a EXP, winning EXP lane plays to the team fights, right? Lapu is really Death rotating to a team fight that helped AKASUKI winning that fight. You know, if Death wasn't rotating, you can clearly see Jinxi on the Minotaur was waiting for Lapu to show up. Oh, speaking of waiting.
Clouds, though, get picks off. The rough waves becoming a little bit too much damage. Chalice going to be able to also push them away up on the top side. Death finds Shiesty on fleek. That's a rough start. I mean, a rough mid-game right now for the side of Foreign Famous.
Yeah, 3,000 gold behind, 8 minutes in. It's not too bad, but it's going to get worse. Oh. The turnaround?
Coming in, able to get a big knock up. Jules Cutie shattered down. Capitan looking for Death now. Bravest fighter to response, looking for the stun. He's able to find it. Capitan able to flicker back though with the darkness. Myth gonna get involved now as well. Laos looking for a possible stun, looking for a possible play, but AKASUKI able to survive that one and back off.
You see, this is gonna get a lot worse for the side of Foreign Famous very, very fast. You know, like right now they lost every single tower. They've taken 1 tower and they only have 1 standing. And they don't have any scale, right? Hayabusa late game, it's okay, right? It has to be, like, it's only okay. Again, this team con takes so much synergy and you only have 1 shot to win this. if everybody jumps in with all the skills on one person, they can decimate anyone they jump onto. They use their skill onto. But if that's built on a big if, right? And right now that if is now paying to their favor. We've seen some small skirmishes where they're able to synergize and do quite well. But the big team fights, it feels like Foreign Famous always play on the backhand. They're not ready, right? Laozi is always like behind on rotation, and because of that, Jinxi is playing really passively, right? He's not really engaging in any team fights. He's trying to wait for the EXP later. There we go.
Jules looking like trying to make a play. Shicey on fleek, forced to try to back away. Is able to secure his purple buff though. Down on the mid side, it looks like AKASUKI are going to back off. They've got the Lord at this point. They can just keep doing what they're doing. Play it safe. They don't need to overforce anything. Eat up a little bit of jungle. Wait for this Lord to come. Jules Cutie finding a good position. He's going to get found out though. Now Shiesty also trying to get a little bit of vision for his team. Looking for YUWEI here. Going to get stuck though with the quad shadow. Able to get away. Laozi trying to clear out this minion wave, but in comes Jules, but they got pushed to the side. A beautiful ult from Arlott there. The Minoan Spirit help along with the Yin Yang overturn. And here comes the overturn. A nice return from the side of Foreign Famous. Able to respond in a very hard point.
The comeback hit. They call Foreign Famous a comeback hit. You know, I don't like a team as much being a comeback team as much as I like a team being just winning it, you know, always. But Foreign Famous is definitely showing that they have what it takes. You know, obviously not in the mid lane, but they have what it takes to do those executions, to do those team fights, right? The Minotaur ult in conjunction with the rest of the team, with a Conqueror combo, with the brain fart.
Yin Yang overturn.
The Yin Yang overturn, you know? It can be quite deadly, right? With Arlott, and by the way, just now it could have turned really bad for the side of Foreign Famous. I think Laozi's play on Arlott with the ultimate really saved the day, right? Because it pushed the Poofer away, canceled the ultimate, which turned the fight around for Minotaur. So I like what the team is doing, but again, they still have a huge uphill battle to climb. And then it comes down to, can they do that type of team fight like twice or thrice, and that might turn the game around for them. Take a look.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to executing like those maneuvers with your full team and everyone communicating and making the plays happen together, they have it, right? They do it wonderfully. And Wade, a nice pick onto YUWEI there. Now, I mean, if they can keep making plays like that, they could turn this game around. But like you said, they have to keep on doing it.
Yeah. And right now, like, Marta's only getting tankier, right? Kufa's getting tankier. Kufa's not as tanky in the early game, but towards the late game, once the item is fully established, it's going to get very, very tanky. So it's only going to be harder and harder for this two burst mage to do damage, Lunox and Kagura. So right now, the point I'm trying to make is, if they're not together as 5, there's a chance that they can do a full combo without killing people, right? And that's bad. Oh, speaking of bad.
Oh, Speedy Light Wheel is always bad when you're the tankiest player on the other team. Going to be a problem. Capitan possibly in a bad spot. Able to flicker there. Yin Yang overturn does come in. Mizu trying to help the day. Shiesty here as well. Dashing around. Laozi also looking for it. But while all this is happening, the Lord is getting melted down.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, they're not going to do enough damage. You saw the Conqueror full combo just now, right? It felt like he wasn't doing anything. Myth is still almost full HP. Lapu was full HP after the whole Yin Yang overturn. Like, at this point, they have to find a kill onto Chalice, right? If they can't find a kill onto Chalice, it's pointless. If they can engage onto someone like the backline, finding a kill on YUWEI is really good, but then you have to turn that around onto Chalice, because Myth is a target you definitely are not going to eliminate anytime soon. And neither is none of the rest of the teammates except for Chalice. Let's take a look.
And we need that big play from Minotaur right now.
Yeah.
Big play, big combo from the whole team. If they could pull it off, they could turn things around, but the Lord is enhanced, and it's coming, waiting for the big crash. And the thing is, the AKASUKI are also way in. YUWEI in the backside. Yin Yang overturn does get blown from the side of Mizu. Capitan trying to work away on this Lord as the rest of AKASUKI make their way through the mid side. 2 inhibitors are down. Capitan and the rest of the team trying to back off, trying to just melt down as much as they can. Jules Cutie, cocked, ready to go, decides not to make the play happen. They're going to move down to the bottom side and take all the base turrets if they can here. Death going to get cut off, stunned up by Mizu. Possible play. Waiting to see if anyone's going to try to pull the trigger here. All base towers are gone. Here comes Jules Cutie. They knew they couldn't get anything major, so AKASUKI decided to back off.
Yeah, right now they don't just need a big hammer energy to win this. They need a gigantic hammer energy to win this, to be honest. Right? There has to be another 5-man ult from Minotaur, and then into like a 5-man Ruby DD combo from Capitan, right? Capitan, and then into another Mizu 5-man Neon Overturn.
And then Shadow Kill to finish it all off. Literally,
Yeah,
everyone
Shadow
needs
Kill
to time it. Everyone needs to
Yeah.
time it all perfectly.
Yeah, and also like Neon Overturn better pull all 5 people together for Hayabusa's ult to do like cleave damage, you know, to do like AoE damage. So like
The heads.
the heads. I feel like that's the win condition. It's so steep. You know, that's why we don't play this type of comp. Oh,
A lot of damage on a Hui.
yeah.
Mizu has to keep
Also-
doing that. Mizu needs to, like you said earlier, it has to either be Hui or Chalice. Like, if he wastes that Yin Yang Overturn to anyone else, you lose the fight, essentially.
Right. Sheesh. I mean,
Sheesh.
this is rough. This is a rough track. I mean, this is, even if you look at a gold, there's only like 4,000 gold difference, by the way. Right? There's not too much gold at all. Hayabusa is sitting at 9,000 gold, about 2,000 gold behind on his counterpart. So he has like what, 3 full items, about to go get Blade of Despair. Where look at the Martis, fully built, full items, right? Because when you get 11,000 mark, you're fully built. Right? He probably forgot to sell his item to buy the last item, but Martis could have bought like Immortality to finish off the entire build. And if you look at the EXP laner, it's actually also really behind, you know. So 3 seconds on Minotaur. Oh, sorry, on the Lord. Foreign Famous need this. If they can't get this, it's just it's like cancer cells, slow death, painful.
It's funny, right when you said that, the Martis sells the Molten Core. It's probably about to pick up the Immortality here any second. I do think they should try to contest this Lord, man. I think it's crunch time, like you said. The gold deficit is bad, but it's not too bad. It's 4,000, and I've seen teams take fights with that. Right now, you have no inhibitors. I think you kind of have to make a play happen, possibly. They are looking for a possible pickoff, but it seems they want to play the safe route.
Yeah, and then another safe route to play is like, so when you're behind, the one way to do it is you play the unexpected, right? Instead of going to the Lord, if you don't want to, what they could have done is go to the bottom side, you know, and then try to look for something, because it's almost guaranteed. It's not always, not always, but sometimes it's gonna be people with split push, right? Because they're like are inspired by Echo, try to do the split push. Ooh, here comes the team fight, Rex.
Big fight. In comes Hui. One member does go down. Shicey on Fleek will be the first to fall. Death with the stun. Immortality pops. More people drop. Death looking for a possible another one. Capitan trying to defend, able to pick up Death there. Brilliance comes out. 2 members of the side of AKASUKI are down as well. Juice, Cutie, and Death. But Chalice and Hui have plenty of damage to try to finish things here. And now Myth holding the front side. Capitan does still have an ult ready to go. Lord about to enclose Myth, locking onto the base, pushing Capitan away. Hui comes in, able to pick up the kill, and the base goes down. It's a 2-0 sweep for the side of AKASUKI.
Wow, what a game. What a game, what a series, to be honest. I mean, Foreign Famous showed us they have the potential, but they're lacking the enzyme that binds everything together, right? That kind of melts everything melts your cells into a whole body, into a human body. I mean, that's what they're missing. Maybe they need to take some vitamins, I don't know. It's missing something, it's missing that oil, but they've shown potential. At the same time, AKASUKI, a very, very nice demonstration, especially from Death, right? I gotta say, has to be the MVP player for me. Coming out in this particular game for, you know, out rotating his counterpart and obviously providing the team a lot of macro advantages in those team fights.
Most definitely. I think, you know, I think they just kind of had, like you said, I think macro, I think team fights, the side of Foreign Famous kind of do have that like down. They have some of their, when it comes to those small micro decisions, they do okay. But when it comes to their early mid game, some of those rotations, some of that vision, that's where they kind of start to fall off. They even had a nice laning phase, and then through the mid game, some of their synergy was off, some of their rotations were off, and they started taking some losses, getting picked off. EXP lane started losing, and from there on, AKASUKI were just able to keep things rolling with a steady pace, and there was nothing that Foreign Famous could do about it.
Yeah, Foreign Famous. Maybe you need to change the name to National Famous.
National Famous.
You know,
local famous.
maybe that will help. Local famous.
Local famous. Well,
Yeah.
It was a great game. I think we got to pass it back to YUWEI here.
Yes, sir.
Dave, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Big shout out to Trax and YUWEI for the incredible tournament. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, Dave. Thank you so much for casting with us with the Foreign Famous and AKASUKI match. Again, AKASUKI won 2-0. We saw like Hui do that savage play on the Martyrs. That's something super brand new to me. I've never seen something like that happen before. So pretty excited to see them tomorrow in the grand finals. But up next in about 20 minutes, if the teams come in early, we will be able to slot them in and get this tournament, get this round of 4. Wait, it is round of 4. I don't know why it says round of 8, but round of 4 going. It is MTY versus Ackerman coming up next. Be right back.
I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. I am Megatron.
Starscream. Bumblebee here and ready to roll.
Grimlock's greatest warrior! Ravage, attack!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincetar, the Courageous Warrior. Not only has Mincetar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high mobility heroes, the fearless Mincetar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero Skills. We revamped Mincetar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill, Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamped version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Mincetar. Second skill, Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Mincetar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Mincetar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Mincetar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate. King's Calling. Minthithar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Minthithar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Minthithar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Minthithar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize damage taken. Shield Assault's enhanced basic attacks benefit from attack speed, so Minthithar with a damage build can have incredible burst in the late game. Target key heroes with King's Calling to cripple their mobility in battle. Combo tips. When laning, use Spear of Glory to pull enemy heroes in, then Shield Assault to slow and cut them down with rapid strikes. In teamfights, try to pull as many enemy heroes as possible with Spear of Glory, then use King's Calling to restrict their movement, and finish with Shield Assault for huge damage. Tactics. Minthithar should focus on farming in the early to mid game. Use Shield Assault to reduce incoming damage or to quickly clear out minion waves. In the late game, Minthithar's crowd control really shines in teamfights. Use King's Calling to strip away the enemy's mobility and Shield Assault for a great burst of damage. We recommend this build, with Demon Hunter's Sword and Corrosion Scythe as Minthithar's core equipment. Demon Hunter's Sword provides much needed lifesteal and attack speed, while Corrosion Scythe adds even more attack speed to really push Shield Assault's damage. Pick the Fighter emblem to boost Minthithar's damage output. For battle spells, Flicker can be a powerful tool in the mid to late game when used with King's Calling to quickly reach and shut down key targets. Petrify is also recommended as an additional CC to maximize Minthithar's damage during Shield Assault. We hope players will have fun with the revamped Minthithar. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
My magic flows as freely as the wind. Name of the winds. The storm is coming. The void is like wind. Listen. It is the sound of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind! Behold, the fury of the wind! Behold, the fury of the wind!
Slain an enemy. Impressive. Under attack. Killing spree. Double kill.
Autobots. I am Megatron.
Starscream. Bumblebee here and ready to roll.
Meet Grimlock's greatest warrior! Ravage. Attack.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincetar, the Courageous Warrior. Not only has Mincetar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high-mobility heroes, the fearless Mincetar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero Skills. We revamped Mincetar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill. Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamped version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Mincetar. Second skill. Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Mincetar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Mincetar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Mincetar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate King's Calling. Mincetar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Mincetar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Mincetar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Mincetar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize damage taken. Shield Assault's enhanced basic attacks benefit from attack speed, so Mincetar with a damage build can have incredible burst in the late game. Target key heroes with King's Calling to cripple their mobility in battle. Combo tips. When laning, use Spear of Glory to pull enemy heroes in, then Shield Assault to slow and cut them down with rapid strikes. In teamfights, try to pull as many enemy heroes as possible with Spear of Glory, then use King's Calling to restrict their movement, and finish with Shield Assault for huge damage. Tactics. Mincetar should focus on farming in the early to mid game. Use Shield Assault to reduce incoming damage or to quickly clear out minion waves. In the late game, Mincetar's crowd control really shines in teamfights. Use King's Calling to strip away the enemy's mobility and Shield Assault for a great burst of damage. We recommend this build, with Demon Hunter's Sword and Corrosion Scythe as Mincetar's core equipment. Demon Hunter's Sword provides much needed lifesteal and attack speed, while Corrosion Scythe adds even more attack speed to really push Shield Assault's damage. Pick the Fighter emblem to boost Mincetar's damage output. For battle spells, Flicker can be a powerful tool in the mid to late game when used with King's Calling to quickly reach and shut down key targets. Petrify is also recommended as an additional CC to maximize Mincetar's damage during Shield Assault. We hope players will have fun with the revamped Mincetar. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the land of dawn.
My magic flows as freely as the wind. Name of the winds. The storm is coming. The void is like wind. Listen. It is the sound of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind.
Slain an enemy. Impressive. Under attack. Killing spree. Double kill.
I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. I am Megatron.
Starscream. Bumblebee here and ready to roll.
Meet Grimlock's greatest warrior! Ravage, attack!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hero Revamp Spotlight, this time featuring Mincetar, the courageous warrior. Not only has Mincetar been given a new look, but he's also been made into a much more versatile hero. With powerful engagement tools and a direct counter against high mobility heroes, the fearless Mincetar is a truly formidable presence on the battlefield. Hero skills. We revamped Mincetar's first skill and ultimate, and completely redesigned his second skill and passive. First skill, Spear of Glory. Mincetar thrusts forward with the Spear of Glory and stuns enemies at the tip of the attack. Mincetar then pulls back his spear after a brief delay, damaging enemies along the way. Prior to the revamp, Spear of Glory only pulled the first enemy hero hit on its way back. The revamp version now pulls all enemy heroes the spear hits on its way back to Minthithar. Second skill, Shield Assault. The new Shield Assault provides Minthithar with enhanced damage and damage reduction. Shield Assault deals damage to enemies in an area and slows them. It no longer shields Minthithar or stuns an enemy, but will instead put Minthithar in the Phalanx state, reducing damage taken from the front and enhancing his basic attacks into rapid strikes that deal AoE damage. Ultimate King's Calling. Minthithar leaps a short distance and calls 4 Royal Guards to form a field around him. The Royal Guards cannot move, but will attack enemies in the field, and their attacks can trigger equipment effects. Enemies within the field will also be slowed. Before the revamp, the field only prevented enemy heroes from using directional blink skills. The new King's Calling now disables all movement skills. Passive skill, Mark of the King. The redesign of Minthithar's passive shifts its function from support to individual playmaking. The new passive causes his basic attacks and skills to apply a stack of Mark of the King. At max stacks, the marks will detonate to damage and stun the target, and restore a portion of Minthithar's HP. This effect can only trigger once every so often on the same target. The revamped Minthithar not only retained his powerful utility, such as shutting down high mobility heroes, but also received a considerable boost in damage with the new Shield Assault. Pro tips. Since Spear of Glory stuns enemies hit by the tip, aim the end of the skill indicator at the target to more easily pull them in. Anticipate when the enemy burst is coming, and use Shield Assault to minimize damage taken. Shield Assault's enhanced basic attacks benefit from attack speed, so Minthithar with a damage build can have incredible burst in the late game. Target key heroes with King's Calling to cripple their mobility in battle. Combo tips. When laning, use Spear of Glory to pull enemy heroes in, then Shield Assault to slow and cut them down with rapid strikes. In teamfights, try to pull as many enemy heroes as possible with Spear of Glory, then use King's Calling to restrict their movement, and finish with Shield Assault for huge damage. Tactics. Minthithar should focus on farming in the early to mid game. Use Shield Assault to reduce incoming damage or to quickly clear out minion waves. In the late game, Minthithar's crowd control really shines in teamfights. Use King's Calling to strip away the enemy's mobility and Shield Assault for a great burst of damage. We recommend this build, with Demon Hunter Sword and Corrosion Scythe as Minthithar's core equipment. Demon Hunter Sword provides much needed lifesteal and attack speed, while Corrosion Scythe adds even more attack speed to really push Shield Assault's damage. Pick the Fighter emblem to boost Minthithar's damage output. For battle spells, Flicker can be a powerful tool in the mid to late game when used with King's Calling to quickly reach and shut down key targets. Petrify is also recommended as an additional CC to maximize Minthithar's damage during Shield Assault. We hope players will have fun with the revamped Minthithar. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
My magic flows as freely as the wind. Name of the winds. The storm is coming. The void is like wind. Listen. It is the sound of the wind. Behold, the fury of the wind! Behold, the fury of the wind! Behold, the fury of the wind!
Slain an enemy. Impressive. Under attack. Killing spree. Double kill.
All right, everyone. I know you guys have been waiting for the match for quite some time. For this second match of the NABA, which is the North American Battle Arena. Again, this is a tournament, a monthly tournament, 50K diamond prize pool. And the second match is going to start. This is going to be the semi-finals for today, best of 3 series. It is going to be MTY Esports, and this is a team that we've seen play throughout a lot of actually some of the North American tournaments, but they are a MPL LATAM team. You might see some familiar faces like Dogtor out there, and they're going up against Ackerman, which is also a top 8 NACT. I think currently either number 2 or number 3 in the slot for the regular season. So it's going to be an exciting match. I hope you guys have your popcorns ready up. And today on the casting desk for this match, we got 2 powerhouses NACT casters today with us. We have Coach Deku, Can You Breathe, and Mr. Trex coming in all the way from the M series. Deku, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, YUWEI. We're definitely excited to hit onto this tournament. Like you said, we got Ackerman and MTY. And enough for me there. Trex, how are you doing, man? Hopping up on the desk for the second series.
I'm super hype about this one, you know. We got some familiar faces on Ackerman, and then we have some older familiar faces on the side of MTY. Haven't gotten to see Dogtor play in probably about 6 or 7 months since NASL last year. I didn't even know he was involved in this, so super hype. And we get to see one of our NACT teams, Ackerman, like play during the week. So it's a pleasure. Not only that, we get to cast it, right?
Absolutely. And it's super huge, right? Because like you said, Ackerman, one of the regular season teams right now in that top 8 clutches. And then MTY, right, is apparently one of those MPL teams from the Latin region. So we have
episode.
Right, this is the crossover episode. What is it like a Family Guy and Simpsons or something? I don't know. It's huge though. It's going to be really good. And I know you were talking about Doctor, right? You hadn't seen him in a while. I was here yesterday. I think I actually casted over the series. I forgot who they played, actually. I think it was Team Ace. And Doctor looks just as sharp, if not better, as he did when you previously saw him. Yes, he is gold lane.
Okay, cool.
He is in the gold lane. So that's going to be an exciting matchup, seeing Doctor and Zia. How you feeling about that one?
I'm hype about it. Like, again, like I haven't got to see some of these players go against each other in a while. So Dogtor versus Zia. If there was a team in this tournament, you know, it's more of a grassroots tournament, a little, you know, a tier below NACT. But when you see some bigger names like this compete in those, it's always hype, right? The thing is too is both of these teams are probably predicted to be grand finalists, so we get to see that a little bit early. And once again, we see that Valentina up front. This is like the most proud first pick in all of NA right now, Deku.
Absolutely. And a couple things open, but it looks like we might even get to see it. Arlot was on the board, but Lapu gets locked in immediately off the response there from the side of MTY. But we do have to note, right, the Valentina got picked up, but they've already kind of got rid of a bit of utility. That for Ramus and Kaja are already off the board. But we can note as well, now that they do have that XP locked in from MTY, they have the Lapu. We could potentially see an Arlot swing back from the side of Ackerman. We know they have the pull for it. They definitely have the players, especially when you're talking about Galaxy for the EXP track.
Yeah, Galaxy could definitely pick it. I could also, now with the Ling pick, I'm thinking another good pick could be a Yuzong here, something like that. The glue is also still open right now. A lot of options.
That's right.
They're going to lock in their gold lane first. Harith is going to come in, and if the side of MTY does not pick up their gold lane immediately, I'm thinking just heavy bans in a Dogtor right here. Try to limit it as much as possible. I like the Harith here, some dash, some escapability if the Ling tries to get some early laning phase mid-game ganks on.
There it goes. There's the Arlot and Trex. I'm right with you as far as banning out marksman. I'd like to see potentially, right, if you're from the side of Ackerman, they're going to look to key in on that gold lane up against Doctor. Pulls aside, just off the top of my head, a couple picks I'd probably do really good is things like the Brody would probably do extremely well up against the Harith. Plays decent in pretty much all their matchups. Something like the Melissa as well. You can drop that go away, can interrupt that Zombin force from Zia when he tries to lay that down. It only lasts for about 4 seconds, right? So something there to kind of be that barricade, something to cut off the dashes as you're going to be looking for. if we're gonna look at marks and bans, I'm definitely hoping to at least see one of those taken out from the side of Ackerman.
Most definitely. So we're waiting on this from MTY. A little bit of hover, but they go for the Kagura, a hero that we haven't gotten to see very often. We just saw it last series, actually, from the side of Foreign Famous. This is a hero that I like, but me and Dave were kind of talking about it. Not the greatest laning phase, a little bit slow to the gun. Definitely some insane pick potential, some insane damage, good assassin in a sense, especially against Zia. Definitely some... You can make the plays happen, but you have to get there first.
That's right. And someone that really would be happy to see this, you said you were talking to Dave. I got to talk with Zero ML. He's been on me about this Kagura and Valentina. He really wants to see this matchup more. I'm still not convinced yet that Kagura is the greatest matchup of Valentina. Obviously, yes, you get to limit the utility that Nicola can take away. But as far as just that 1v1, if you're talking about who's getting prio, who's getting first out for rotations and whatnot, I still feel like it goes in the favor of the Valentina. But we might get to see something different here. Maybe Destiny turns me from a non-believer into a believer. But like you said, with that mage being locked in, marksman is still needed from the side of MTY. We could potentially see some gold laners focused by the side of Ackerman here.
Yeah, and there goes.
Ooh, there goes
the gold laners. Melissa, probably 1-1 next. That's still open. A lot of options still open. But even with the 1-1 ban, there's still plenty of options for Dogtor to pick up. Maybe the Brody, something along those lines. Beatrix still open as well. I think Zero ML does make a good point though, right? Between this Valentina and this Kagura. Kagura can kind of dance, right? You can dash away, you can kind of dodge some of those. If the Valentina tries to dash into you, you can respond with the dash away. There are some possibilities there. Depending on what these guys pick for roam here is going to kind of be, I think, who capitalizes on clearing wave first. I do think that Valentina packs a bit more punch in the mid game, right? And also with the utility, with the possibility of steal skills, I think Valentina is just a bit more of a solid pick. But of course, like I said, the Kagura could be a possible answer. There goes the Brody bans. So the 1-1 is still open here.
You know what, Trex? I got to toot my own horn here. I definitely nailed it on that gold lane. We're talking about the gold lanes. We can see banned out. Brody, Melissa, definitely at the top of the charts. And we got to see those responses. Speaking of responses, though, some respect bans from the side of MTY. They banned out the Kush, away from Kushabusa there, who is currently the long Val that is on your screen there, and the Lancelot. We've seen him play both of those in NACT, and he definitely profited on both of those picks. So some good respect bans and good gold lane focuses from both of these teams. So with that being said, I feel like that second half of the ban was really clean from both sides. Since they haven't locked in that fourth pick just yet, back onto that Kagura. While she gets the dance right, though, Trex, the first three from Ackerman also had that same capability as Doctor goes ahead and locks in that Beatrix that you kind of pointed out that was left remaining. With that Valentina, the hair at the R lot, there's a lot of dip and dashing, right? It's going to be extremely hard, I feel like, for Destiny to find that pick-off potential with the yin-yang overturn. We're going to see Destiny's going to have the patience, right? The keen eye for the perfect opportunity to get that damage in and find that burst on one of these high-priority targets.
Yeah, but this could be spicy right here, the Hellkurt pick. And honestly, I kind of like it. The Darkness Falls is going to help take away that vision away from Kagura even more, help take away that vision from the Ling if he's trying to get to the back line. And having such a dashy team, it could be the answer here. Really help kind of when these Lord fights go down. I think a lot of people kind of sleep on how much utility you can get out of that Darkness Falls. And we're already seeing this hero slowly kind of make some comebacks in NACT and across the globe as well. Now with the Kufra, more set potential and a nice way to stop any of those dashes coming in from the Ling or even the Kagura, right? If you try to escape, try to dash away.
That's right. This is interesting right now. We're seeing hover. I'm not sure if it's going to be a lock, but the Akai roam is something that I really miss seeing. It used to be such high prio, and I feel like it just fell off, when things kind of picked up the pace. Right around that time, we kind of switched over to that support-heavy meta. Akai definitely fell off a bit, but it'll be interesting to see if MTY kind of brings that back into the fold here up against Ackerman to kind of deal with them. I don't feel like it would be a bad option. If you're talking about trying to lock down a target, I feel like Akai can definitely get overwhelmed, but to break up the engages definitely could be good. But they're going to take that Minotaur, and that's going to be the second one. You saw that last series, Tricks. How are you feeling about seeing that right now?
I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about it. We'll see. We'll see. It didn't do amazing last series. The potential is always there, but I'm still a strong believer that You know, there's a lot of other roamers that can supply you the same thing. I guess there are some points, right? It can absorb some damage. It can kind of hold front line. It can bush check. I do like the fact that you get that knock up from his S1 now or S2 now, his jump in now.
Right.
I forget which exact skill it is, but
S1,
you get that slight knock up. So there is a bit. He has a bit more potential for like ganks in the early game. A little more helpful, right? But again, it's a little bit of a problem. I guess against the Hellcurt, like in a Lord Pit, Hellcurt's a little bit easier to maybe catch with that Minoan's Fury, so it could work a bit better here.
That's right, Trex. But we're underway, right, for game 1 of this best-of-3 series between Ackerman and MTY, the Zia Doctor in the gold lane, a couple star players to keep your eyes out on for. But something interesting to note here, Trex, we were talking about the prio in that mid lane, and it's actually interesting to see Map on this Minotaur actually has the concussive blast. Toinks over here went for that tenacity, so we could maybe see a bit of the prowl going to the hands of Destiny if they go ahead and use that concussive blast. There we go. Yeah, they are actually going to be able to find that prio in the mid lane. So that is a little bit of a huge emblem swap there for them to be able to make that happen. So now we're going to see MTY find that first rotation here on the map.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit quicker, right? They're going to be able to move down, and they want to try to go for that EXP lane. They want to try to give Khan, we're going to call him Khan, in the bot lane a little bit of presence, and also just keep vision. And they know that Turtle's going to be up in 60 seconds, give themselves some time here. Now, they're going to sacrifice this. Nothing too major, though. Neither team's like really being aggressive, trying to invade, even really trying to give a whole lot of vision onto enemy jungler here.
Absolutely. And I feel like I was really, because, Ackerman kind of assuming for the default as that XP play does happen. Their Trex there, it happened a little later than we thought it was going to, but they did find the kill there. Actually, no, it was into the hands of Galaxy, there, so he actually fought that back.
1v1.
That's right, taking off on him. But right, we saw them kind of position themselves on the side of Ackerman, maybe catch out a gold lane rotation, but MTY going for that early XP as they force a flicker out. Hang on, potential engage.
Yeah, possible pick here. Darkness Falls comes in, lots of damage. Dogtor picked off. Down on the bot side, a little bit more engage. We do see the link come in. Tempest of Blades comes down, but Max still goes down to Galaxy. Nicolette looking for something, and the rest of the team able to flicker away. Galaxy might be in a little bit of trouble here. Spinetta, actually Destiny picks up the kill. Nicolette going to go defend this tower, make sure they don't get too much gold plating off of it.
Absolutely, and Ackerman's still in control, though, if you're talking about those kills 3-1 in their favor. They created a bit of a gold lead already, about 1,000 in their favor, as they are looking to maybe potentially set up for this turtle. But keeping on positioning, a Khan here.
Yeah, Khan looking for a possible play. Does have the bravest fighter, not able to land any stun just yet. Khan now going to get stunned up himself. Destiny comes in with a Yang overturn, bringing everyone down to about half health. Finally, the stun comes down. Nicolette actually steals it with the bravest fighter. Comes Darkness Falls, looking for a possible finish. Pops the retry to get the slowdown, picks up the kill. Turtle still on the map. Tempest of Blades on top of Val there. Kush in a very bad spot in between 3 members, but he wants to fight it out. Able to flicker through. Turtle still up. Galaxy now maybe getting involved in this as MTY decides to back off.
And that was very impressive. And you know what? I really felt like that fight was going to swing super heavily to the favor of Ackerman, only finding 1 kill in that very drawn-out fight. But I think that goes over to the fact that obviously Map there on that minnow was still only level 3, while Toinks actually had level 4 on the Kufra. But he missed the set, right? The Tyrant's range, he completely whiffed. They didn't catch anybody in that set, but they were still able to find that one piece over to the hands of Kush after he sat around in front of 3 members and still didn't fall over the turtle wall and back over to his side of the jungle. So Ackerman playing these fights pretty safe, missing a little bit of the mark, but still able to capitalize over the side of MTY as they're going to look to set up on this turtle one more time.
Yeah, this is still first turtle, isn't it? 3.5 minutes.
It is
still the first turtle. No one's been able to take it. It's been up for a while. Here's the thing, though. Kush, pretty low on health right now. Able to get a little bit back with that kill there. Spinetta sitting at about full. I think they need to be careful the way they approach this. And if I was Spinetta, I might try to, like, force this. Well, he's going to get knocked off the wall, though. Tempest of Blades comes down. Galaxy in a bad spot, but in comes Toinks. Tyrant's Rage on 3 members. Kush wants to try to clean things up, waiting for his time to strike. In comes Nicolette, steals the bravest fighter once again, able to get the stun and clean him up. We're seeing a lot of physical damage ult steals from the Valentinas tonight.
That's right, but that trade did go into the favor. Ackerman there as Nicolette found the double kill at the end of the fight, and the turtle there finding that dual purpose there, doing the job for Kush. after he took that unfortunate fall in that clash. And right now, they're up 2K. It's still a close game for the side of MTY, even though they are down 4 kills right now. It's still a little close, still a little competitive from them. But they might want to switch their focus, right? The turtle, the neutral fights haven't went in their favor. That's 2 fights for 1 turtle that they came out on the short end of. They might want to try and get Doctor online here and play towards him. But speaking of playing towards,
yeah, it looks like they're going to play towards him right now, but Destiny smells something in the water. Spin also here. Toink's going to walk into this bush, but they want to keep up the pressure. Naboo's passion to clear the wave. It's a good play, right? Doctor just needs to buy himself time and get these guys out of his face right now.
That's right. That's exactly what he did. Ackerman going to go ahead and walk away, like you said. Not going to be able to find anything there. Had already missed that initial engagement. Hang on, maybe Destiny with the counter-strike.
And Destiny misses. And I feel like, I don't know, MTY kind of missing some of these skill shots. The sniper misses earlier. The umbrella missing now. Having a little bit of trouble connecting and finding the moments. Galaxy, though, in this EXP lane, has just been playing a great game.
He definitely has. And now that you mention it, when you're looking at that XP matchup, Khan is 0-3-2 already on the Lapu Lapus. Are crossing over that 5.5 minute mark. Galaxy, though, having a great game, like you said. Wait a minute.
Oh, we cursed him.
That's the curse.
Oh, a little bit of a counterplay, though. Dogtor goes down. That's a good trade in my book. And they find one on the boss side. Kush, 1 against 4. Able to pick one up onto Spinetta. That's that Darkness Falls. Able to get the vision, flicker in, make you so you can't use any skills, but now he's on the run here. Yin Yang Overturn comes in. He's in a very bad spot. Does go down. Destiny picking up the kill.
That's right. Destiny picking up that kill, but a mid lane response from Zia. He's going to find that tower. That's going to be a good trade for Ackerman again. They lost just a little bit of that gold lead, but they're still finding the macro plays. But, oh, it's a tower.
Yeah, a lot of damage. I think the real player to keep our eyes on here might just end up being Nicolette, though. But wait a second. Galaxy wants some revenge, gets some nice burst damage. Calling onto the backside, but he's taking too many deaths. He's way too squishy. He can't just dive in right like that. Being at 0-3 and now 0-4, it's going to be a problem when you're a Lapu, because his job is to dive into that back lane. The moment he does, he's melted down by Nicolette and the rest of the gang.
That's right. He really needs to slow down. Like you said, he has a lot of deaths right now. He's almost half of the total kills that Ackerman has been able to pick up. They have 10. He's got 4 of those deaths. It's just going hand to hand right now. They need to find a way to get Khan to focus more on what he can do as far as lane states, right? How can you apply some pressure on the map? Because right now, he's not a serious threat in these team fights. As soon as he pops in, you saw Nicolette 2 dashes, and almost half of his HP bar was gone. But speaking of dashes, speaking of clashes,
I was just wondering when we were going to see him Nolan's Fury, and so far he used 1, and it just kind of got wasted there. Ackerman is going to back off. They're able to take that purple buff away from Spinetta. So again, Ackerman right now just kind of controlling the map, but now Spinetta in a very bad spot. Galaxy, that ultimate knocking him off the wall is so clutch. Down on the bot side though, Map getting stunned up. Nicolette looking for something once again, steals that bravest fighter, does some big burst damage on a Khan. Down comes Zamon's Force. Will get stunned up though. The response, a lot of damage. Nicolette though still hanging out, looking for a possible pick, and nobody goes down.
no one goes down. And Trex, I have to point it out, man. We're over almost 8 minutes into the game, and Dr. is just now picking up that Blade of Despair. He's definitely behind as far as picking up core items. Yikes is right. And when you're talking about that gold lane, we actually had seen Zia just pick up that Holy Crystal, so he's definitely an item ahead of Doctor right now. Definitely hitting his power spike a little bit faster, and that's what I was kind of getting at earlier, that I felt like MTY should have shifted their focus after that first fail at the neutral before Turtle was even picked up. Maybe help get their gold laner online, considering the neutrals weren't going in their favor, and without making that adjustment, now they're really feeling the pain.
Oh, big damage. Doctor gets pulled through the wall. Mapax, though, able to get a nice knock-up. Galaxy does get away there. Big burst damage coming from the side of Nicholas still, but down in the bot. Kush finds Spinetta again. He's got a target on his forehead, and Kush finds it every time.
That's right. And speaking on that, he's going to add that +1 to that trade. He's going to go ahead and still off that blue buff from Spinetta. That's going to be huge. Not only do you put him behind as far as that depth counter, but then you take the blue buff away from such a buff-dependent hero such as Ling. Spinetta definitely in a bad situation. Starting to look like Khan out there. Your XP is still behind. You're losing a lot of control on the map with that. Your jungle's still behind. You know the neutrals are now just going to go right into the hands of Kush and Doctor so far behind with Zia. You don't even have anyone really if you want to decide to go for those clashes maybe for a little bit of a team fight. You don't even really have that edge because your gold laner, your main source of damage, hasn't even hit their crucial power spikes, or at least not on timing with Zia. The Blade of Despair is a power spike for Beatrix, as we all know. But again, Zia up ahead in the items 2-1-1. Not really a match right now when these fights break out.
Destiny, though, does find Zia there. Able to get the pick off. That's exactly what they needed. Val does secure that Lord, though, and now Mapback's in a very bad spot. Not a lot of mobility. Able to get the knock-up, though. Destiny able to re-engage. Toinks comes in along with Galaxy, finding the pick off. Make that a double kill for Galaxy coming online.
That's right. And you know what? During the whole midst of that, you saw actually Spinetta and Doctor tried to respond, both of them for the mid lane. And Doctor actually gave up on it, went back to base to go ahead and recall to the top wave. Then you saw Spinetta try to go after the neutral was already out of his hand, but neither one able to pick up that mid lane. So they're trying to find the trades, but they're just not coming up right now as they are down 4K in the hole when you're looking at Ackerman's economy right now. And you know what, Trex? Like you said, Destiny was able to find a pick off, and I feel like that's kind of what they need right now. The team fights definitely aren't what they want to go for. They're behind an economy as a team. You definitely need to find some advantages on the board as far as numbers. Maybe let Destiny find that initiation, that engage, maybe save up map for in case you get engaged on for that counter set up against Toinks, who knows get that CC immunity with the Unknown Fury, but they definitely did find picks instead of these full clash and engages until they can match the pace of Ackerman to go for those 5v5s.
Yeah, I think let Spinetta handle lanes, and then have Destiny and the rest of the team sit down. But wait a second, Galaxy with the big ult, able to push everyone to the side. Nicolette picking up the kill. Spinetta able to find Galaxy though. Zia able to get the double. It's a 3-for-1 trade overall. A beautiful trade for the side of Ackerman. And as you said, MTY. Oh, wait a second, big stun.
Man, fight not over.
Nicolette, fight night definitely not over just yet. Ackerman gonna take this tower. We're trying to end this game early. More minions coming from the bot side here. Zia gonna rotate over. Darkness falls. A lot of damage on a dog tour. Kush able to take a tower shot and walk away safely, but 2 base turrets go down.
You know, it's funny you were talking about, you know, that they need him to sit down, but looks like they sat MTY down here right after you said that. Finding 2 inhibitors as we cross over that 11.5-minute mark, Trex, that's huge for this team. The first, that enhanced Lord hasn't even spawned out on the map yet, and you already have 2 inhibitors down. That is an incredible map pressure for the side of Ackerman. It looks like they're going to try to end this game early. They don't want to try to let MTY get back in this game, find those pickoffs that we were talking about until they can match the scaling. But speaking of pickoffs here, Trex.
Poinks trying to look for one himself, and Khan may just go down here. Galaxy dashes in, able to finally get the kill on the other side. Zia drops him on Force, looking for another one. Big damage on a map axe, finds 2 before he goes down himself to Dog Tour, but that's okay. Nicolette picks up the double kill. It's a 3-for-1 trade once again. Make that a 4-for-1. Spinetta finally on the field. No minions coming, but they're coming soon, and Ackerman trying to end it here. Big burst damage. Spinetta goes down, and they're locking onto the base. Ackerman gonna take the first game on the first episode in this crossover.
Clinical gaming from the side of Ackerman, Trex. They definitely came into this game with an objective in mind, and that was to win. 21-9, 12.5-minute game. That was a quick first match from the side of Ackerman up against Doctor and this MPL team from Latam here. They're definitely have to make some adjustments, make some calls, and might have to respect Nicolette, because 5-0-8 on the Valentina in a game with not much utility to use is insane from the mid laner of Ackerman.
Most definitely. I mean, you said clinical. Galaxy was surgical with that ultimate. I mean, never wasted one. I don't think the whole game. Never whiffed once. Every time, either got Spinetta off of a wall, caught people off, able to at least pull 2 or 3 people to the side. I mean, every single time was landing it perfectly. Even though we didn't have like the biggest KDA, wasn't like a flawless game or anything, still just insane. 27% damage. Kind of the unsung hero, I feel like, in that fight. Nicolette picked up a lot of the kills, but Galaxy was outputting the damage.
That was, but that is going to be the conclusion of the first match, Trex. We're going to send that over to YUWEI. We're getting ready for that second game.
You're muted.
Yo. Second game coming right up, guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We do have MTY versus Ackerman. I mean, you guys have been watching that match. Ackerman kind of took that extremely fast. Honestly, it was a very solid draft. Nicolette MVP on that first pick. Valentina. But we are going to be jumping into the match right now.
All right, we're back in it, Deku. Match 2.
That's
possible 3-episode mini-series here of the Latan and NA crossover episode. The thing is Ackerman came in very strong there. Made MTY look like a normal team, honestly. There's a lot of hype around them, and I want to see MTY try to pick up the pieces. What do they got to do differently here?
Kind of at the tail end of that results we were talking about, I definitely feel like they need to respect Nicolette. We know quite a bit about Nicolette from that mid lane. You have to find a way to not only make her uncomfortable, but also beat out on those rotations, because we've seen Nicolette, even with them having that initial wave prio right in the mid lane, still not able to capitalize right away as far as rotations. Even though they had the one up there, Nicolette's still able to find ways to get in those engagements first on those ganks, finding the picks nice and early, finding that double kill right on that first turtle, and then being able to secure it as well. I feel like they did a good job of trying to key in on Kush, but obviously it didn't end up working out too much. They took out the Lancelot, took out the Hayabusa, but they might now want to reroute their decision, maybe decide on Nicolette, because Kush is Kush, right? He's going to be able to play a lot of those assassins. You can't ban them all out to where you make him uncomfortable enough to be able to play the game. He put out a Hellcurt, right, Trex? And we haven't seen too many Hellcurts. We've seen a couple rare occurrences recently, a few in the NACT, and like you said, overseas here and there, but still, that is pretty far off the grid, and that just goes to show that those two bans just aren't going to get it done when you're talking about the jungle from Ackerman. It may not even be enough for Nicolette, but at least be able to close off some of those high priority picks in her pool.
Yeah, a lot of teams, it's like you focus on the off lanes. You make the EXP lane, you make the gold lane. You take one of them down, and you can make the team crumble. I feel like for Ackerman, Twinks and Nicolette, man, if you, like you just said, you make those two players go down, you get an early game pick on them, and the rest of the team crumbles. I feel like they are kind of the backbone, and that's normal, right? You're mid lane. The people are making ganks.
Right.
You're roamer, right? You slow down Twinks, you get him off his groove, or you slow down Nicolette and you get her off her groove. It becomes a problem for the whole team. I forget who. I think it was against TOB maybe. They just, the moment Nicolette and Twinks had a death or two on them in the laning phase, it was GG's. It was a wrap. So I think that is definitely a great idea for MTY. I like the Valentina ban here, even though they probably could have picked it up for themselves in the first pick. But at least you are focused on Nicolette here. At this point, though, I do think, early game mage pickup to take away from Nicolette again could be big here. Maybe take away the Farza, but her as well. She's a pretty deep pool.
That's right. But something I'm really not agreeing with is that Harith ban. You're talking about Zia here, and again, that's one of those players, right? If you're forced to ban out the mage in the gold lane, that's not even the traditional pick in that lane. Still, marksman's on the board. I feel like it's kind of a waste, and that right there is a huge. I feel like this is the blunder, in my opinion, as well. The joy Trex has been unleashed for the side of Ackerman, and not just for anybody. That's in the hands of Galaxy.
Yeah, big blunt. I mean, that could have been your Harith ban right there, the Joy ban, right? And then you still get the Fredrin, you still get some of the things. Definitely, maybe in a best of 5, maybe in a best of 7, the Harith comes out first pick. But second game, everything's on the line here. Maybe you get a little bit crazy there, but right here, you ban out the Harith. Zia still has plenty of options in his arsenal here. They're going to lock in this Lunox, which, again, I like it up front. Nicolette does great with it, and after watching Zia play the Harith, I think he could run the Lunox too if he wanted. So they keep it flexible, and they get the Joy pick.
That's right. And something to point out as well, Nicolette and Galaxy with that Joy and Lunox, two of those star players we saw in the last match, now on those comforts. Nicolette, an amazing Lunox player. Galaxy also equally is great with that Joy in the XP lane. And that was also going to be something I was going to point out, maybe to help out MTY in the draft, is try to get Khan on something that's above that 50-50, because we've seen what happened in the 50-50 lane. Got completely outplayed by Galaxy, not only in the laning state, but even in the team fights as well. Lapu and Arlot can really go either way, but it really felt like Arlot is the overwhelming winner in a 50-50 case. And I feel like they needed to give something to Khan, maybe to make it a 60-40 type of lane state, so where he has more of an upper hand to take on Galaxy. But when you unlock the Joy, right, Trex? There's not too much that you can put out there to just completely annihilate the pick. Right now, at the top of my head, you could say I'm thinking an Esmeralda, right? But there's already a Lunox in the hands of Nicolette. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, the Esmeralda could be solid, but again, like you said, the Lunox could also be a problem. And at this point, they have their bases covered with just those 2 picks. Now, taking a look at the Lilia, though, could be solid. We haven't seen it a whole lot, but I still think it is a decent pick. With the Fredrin, you could get a little crazy, especially if Kush decides to go for something a bit squishier here in the jungle. You have some ability now to be aggressive, maybe try to dive, maybe try to invade. If they pick up a solid tank, maybe something like a Grok, I would say the Lolita, but the Lolita has already been picked. But something to pair well with that Lilia to try to get vision, try to bully Kush here.
That's right, especially when you have that early aggression. And if Kush is going to go for something like that assassin pull, right off the top of my head, I feel like when you got a Lilia immediate lane prio, you could slot something in like the Hilda on the roam. Not sure if Map has that in his pool, but it's definitely an idea and a thought to go for if you want to go ahead and deny the assassins, because they may not go for those assassin bans. They are going to start working on that first of 2 bans in the second half of the phase, but they're going to look to go for something else potentially in the gold lane. We saw them already waste that Harith ban in the first section. They could continue on with that theme. But if that is the case, like I said, that Hilda would be a nice pickup for them to pair in with Destiny to make Kush potentially uncomfortable in that jungle role. But you know, with this timer still going, that Harith ban now makes me really question, because they have the Brody this game, right? And from the last match I was talking about it, when the Harith came out, Brody and Melissa immediately off the top of my head were 2 bans I felt like would have been really good, and that's exactly what Ackerman did. They took it out in the second half. MTY picked it up this time, but they banned the Harith in a game that Brody would have done extremely well with the Harith in the gold lane. So I feel like maybe some confusion going on here as far as what they have and what they are able and to allow through with that Brody in the first slot.
Most definitely. Now, you talked about the Hilda. I think it could definitely be solid. The problem is I think it would be very solid as a last pick, or if Kush picks jungle here. But I got a feeling he's going to kind of wait off. They're going to lock in their gold lane first, right here. Carries solid, can deal with the Fredrin, can deal with whatever bulky tank. I think the Hilda, Franco could also be decent here. Kaja's not open, but something to kind of deal with that Joy if Galaxy gets too crazy and tries to come into the backside, protect Dogtor here. The only thing with the Franco, I don't know, it doesn't pair super great with the Lilia, because Lilia wants to go forward. Franco kind of wants to wait, you know? So yeah, the Hilda, I think, could definitely be super solid. But again, they're going to have to show that before Kush locks in his jungle. So he has plenty of ample opportunity here to kind of mess around. But here comes that. There's the switch up. Nicolette on the low Yi, and that Lunox is going to flex over to the gold lane.
And it's just the scary thing about Ackerman, man. They are so flexible in what they can bring out. And it's the great thing about having someone like Zia on your team that Lunx is going over to the into that gold lane, because he played as a mid laner, right?
Yeah.
Formerly, right, at M3, like world stage level mid laner in your gold lane. Only can you play the marksman, but you have to be aware of the threat that he can bring out a mage that's prio in the gold lane at any point, because both of these pulls are comfortable from him. It's not like you have a traditional marksman that has never experienced the mid lane. That's what makes Zia such a threat out there. You know what, Trix? They still go for the Esmeralda, but I have to tell you, I'm really not a huge fan of it. Could we?
Wait a second. That's not really going to be a jungle low Yi, is it?
Oh.
That's not really going to be a jungle. I feel like there's a lot of magic damage right now. I think what would be solid is like a heavy hitting assassin. But they're going to troll us, I think. They might just troll us.
They could still switch it. They might be trolling us right now with the Retribution. Kush did run the Lunox yesterday in the jungles. They might just it might just get swapped over to them, because we did see Nicolette pull this out as well. The Lu Yi, right, and NACT. So they could definitely go for the swap. I definitely think they're fooling with us right now, putting that Retribution over.
Lunox jungle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna see here.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't, there it goes. There it goes.
Okay.
So yeah, this is. They took the Esmeralda, and like I said, that's going to be tough, man, up against that Lunox. Obviously, if you only think about it as a 1v1 lane, just like Esmeralda Joy, yes, of course, on paper, that's great, because you get to leech off that shield. But again, this is a 5v5 game. Team fights matter, and so do outside interactions. And while you're able to potentially edge out the 1v1 against Joy, can you edge out the 1v2 with a Lunux there, potentially going for that early gank, or if they decide to focus you in those team fights?
Yeah, and again, we were talking about roam picks for the side of MTY here, and
That's
they
right.
go with the Atlas. I'm not crazy about it. I feel like so much mobility on the side of Ackerman. You have the Brilliance, so many ways to get away. Before we get too deep, this could be the final episode of this crossover. MTY trying to bring us to game 3 up against Ackerman, who has the 1-0 advantage. Game point on the line, Deku. Now, the Atlas pick, as I said, I'm a little worried about it. I don't know how solid it's going to be here. It's not going to be easy to get more than a 2-man pick-off here, and even that is going to be asking a lot.
Absolutely, and I'm right there with you on that. You were talking about they needed something with that forward momentum that match up with Destiny, and while Atlas does fit the build, when you're sending out that perfect pairing to go for the Fatal Links, in this game, again, with those outside hero interactions, there's so much of vulnerability, like you pointed out, with Galaxy and Val on these 2 picks. But not even just that, right? You have some stun lock capability with Nicolette on this Lu Yi, that yin-yang, that yo-yo ping-pong effect that she has with the S2. That's a lot for Atlas. If you ever played him, you definitely know when you have those AoE CC effects, it becomes extremely hard because he's so linear in his approach that it becomes difficult to be able to charge in head-on. But speaking of charging on here, looking at Galaxy
being pretty aggressive here. He's able to do that just for a second. A lot of damage on the maps already. Nicolette ready to output some as well, but Galaxy needs to be careful. Khan is the perfect counter to that
Joy.
Help me out here, bro. Help me out
Joy,
here, bro. The Joy. Perfect counter to that Joy right now. So I mean, but Galaxy's smart enough. He plays it slow. He takes his time, and once we get to the mid game, he doesn't really have to deal with the Esmeralda too much. He can get more involved in the team fights just because of his mobility.
That's right. You know, this is an interesting split that we're seeing here. They got that prio in the mid from Nicolette. Nicolette heading up to the top. They send the lead a bot side, and we might see something come from that.
Yeah, Toinks able to get the stun. A lot of damage. Zia looking for the finish. But Val able to pick it up, actually. Still a nice gank into the gold side, and nobody loses out on the XP side.
That's right. And it looks like they were setting up for the XP gank, right, for this neutral from the side of MTY. But Nicolette, falling initially on the HP bar, was able to help out there for Galaxy. It could have been a potential turtle and a kill, but now it's just going to be limited to a turtle. But that's after Ackerman found the first blood, which I'm definitely taking that trade anytime.
Yeah, first blood, plus Zia gets like all the gold plating off that bottom tower. That's
right.
Bruno. Great gold, great tower damage, even in the early game right here. He's level 4, and he's going to have a nice little gold lead now over Dogtor. Dogtor takes the death, and he loses out on a lane, plus tower plating. So it's huge for Zia, and MTY trying to respond here, but I mean, as long as Zia plays it smart, he's going to consistently have the lead.
So that's exactly what he's going to want. We're seeing Nicolette ult down to that bot side. But you know what? Well, I feel like it was missed. I thought maybe they were going to start to sit around and wait potentially and be kind of the default, because no one would expect them to be sitting there. You know what? Actually, they are still holding around down on that bot side wave. We could potentially see them come from that, Trex, as these teams are starting to move in. Keep an eye on Doctor here.
Yeah, they're looking for
here it goes.
Play. Toink's going to get the stun. Zia dashes in.
Whoa.
Gets the finish. Fatal Links does come in, but it's way too late for that Mappa. Zia going to output a little bit more damage, clear out this wave. And now, once again, it's 2-0, 1,000 gold lead at 3.5 minutes. Destiny goes down as well. It's looking rough for the side of MTY.
Definitely looking rough, but I have to tell you, the macro looking pretty from the side of Ackerman. I was pointing out there that it was a possibility, right? They kind of beat the default. You don't really expect a team to be there in that position. Oh, again!
Oh, man. Nicolette keeps on coming down there. Another kill. I mean, it's a killing spree at this point for Kush. He's looking great on this jungle Lunox.
He definitely is, and you know what? I feel like this is just what that Louis pick can do. Trax, wait, fight's still not over.
Dogtor trying to respond here. Nicolette not going to give any space. Destiny comes in, drops a couple glooms, but still no damage. Zia going to be able to pick up this tower. Spinetta able to come in, misses the tonks, misses Toinks with the taunt. The sidestep comes in, beautiful flicker. Nice Fatal Links though, should be able to pick up the kill onto Zia here, but not before he finds Destiny.
Finally get on the board here, Trex, but a lot of damage has been done, like you said, from the side of Ackerman. Kush was having a killing spree. He's 3-0-0 on the Lunux up against Spinetta on this Fredrin. He has the level advantage. Neutral, obviously, going to be going into the hands of Ackerman. So they have great positioning right now as Galaxy is zoning off 2 members from the side of MTY, and they absolutely have no answer to the pressure being put on right now. But keep an eye from the Bush. Toinks.
Toinks gets another stun. Nicolette trying to come in with the yo-yo yin yang. Looking for somebody, not able to find it though. Toinks holding down base. They have switched lanes. Galaxy's moved down to the bot side. Zia up on the gold side. And Galaxy just going to continuously harass. Black Shoes does get popped from Destiny there, but they are just putting on pressure.
They definitely are. You know, we just seen it right there. Destiny having been forced to use those black boots. I feel like when you have these kind of picks, you have something like this Joy, right, and this Lennox, they're able to force so much utility. But speaking of force,
nice pick onto Zia there. Very nice. Val going to be able to back off here. Toinks gets a stun to create space, but so I mean,
Nicolette.
Ooh, Nicolette teleports up to help defend, but nothing happens.
Wait, hold up. We could potentially see a clash here. Keep an eye on Kush.
We're looking for Val. Val doesn't have the light. Oh, he does. Pops a Brilliance. Nice response. Able to actually respond back. Toinks about to go down, but the burst comes in. Nicolette shredding through. Val picks up the kill on a Spinetta. Toinks is trying to get out of town before Destiny finishes it off. Drops a Gloom. Doesn't have another one to help connect, and Nicolette's here to help out. Kush goes down. It's a 1-for-1 jungle for jungle.
But you know, and that's what was going to go on with my tangent there about them being able to use or force outright so much utility with those 2 picks alone. We thought that was going to be the end of Kush right there, but like you said, Light Ult coming in at that last second to be able to reposition for the Chaos Assault. Little maneuvers like that just coming out from 1 pick, baiting out 3 enemies from the bush there to go ahead and force out some ultimates, use some of those essential skills, trying to pick up a kill. That would have been like a 5v5, you're using a 3, but hang on, utility.
Oh my god, Nicolette's doing so much damage. Galaxy does get the final pick there, but here we go again. Nicolette 0-0-5, doesn't have any kills, but still been able to free farm, rotate around, make plays happen, and once again, Toinks and Nicolette, the backbone. Nicolette picking up the first kill, but I mean, the amount of damage she's put out so far is just insane.
You know what, now, Trex, after my second time seeing Nicolette on this YUWEI, first time in the NACT, and now here in the North American Battle Arena, it's definitely great. But it's so interesting because for a quick second, right, we saw a flash of the items. Funny to note, Nicolette only had the magic boots and enchanted talisman and already doing incredible damage. So that just speaks to the raw potential that YUWEI has as a baseline, as a mage. But hang on.
Oh, a lot of damage on a Galaxy. Dogtor picking up the kill. And you know, I think that the thing about the YUWEI is the damage is there, right? But it's the mobility that's kind of a problem. You're kind of like a sitting duck to a lot of heroes, and you don't have huge range like a Farza or other picks. Wait a second,
no.
Toinks coming in, doesn't have the flicker though. A little bit of a misplay, but Kush doesn't want to let it be a misplay. Comes in with the Brilliance, able to do a bit more damage. Nicolette looking for the pullback. Khan comes in with a falling Star Moon. Toinks wants to respond. Torn Apart Memories goes off. No damage onto the side of Ackerman, but with all this, they will take another tower. Starting to be a lot. Ackerman not giving any space to breathe.
Definitely not. They got unanswered towers right now. They have a 3-tower lead. MTY has yet to find one in any of these lanes. And you know what? Gotta point it out. Nicolette, with that diversion ult, didn't find anything from it, right, as far as kills. But the fact that it's a potential play that can be made has to be paranoia-inducing. Oh my god, there it goes!
Oh, there it is. There's your paranoia. The fear is here. And Kush able to bring it in, but wait, nice Fatal Link. Zia, though, gonna put out a lot of burst damage. Big freeze on a Val. Val will go down. Destiny able to find that one, but still, the potential is there. Nicolette making plays happen on the map. Luckily, Spinetta gonna respond on this mid tower. Final hit does come in from the minion. Here comes Galaxy, though, in the top side. Just going to be a little annoying. Shouldn't be able to take down anyone.
Like, as I was saying it happened again with Nicolette with that YUWEI. But that's the thing, right? When you don't have something like a YUWEI out, there's things like the default plays. As again, look at the positioning. But if you're Doctor, you can't, like, you literally don't think about them being here because that's not, like, this is not just how the mobility works in the map. But look at this. It's not supposed
to be possible, but Toinks comes in. Nicolette still hanging out, waiting for time to strike. Doesn't want to show face just yet. Finally going to come out. Mappa does get the Fatal Links, but Toinks wants to respond. Big flicker, comes in, lands a stun. Destiny going to get picked off from Zia there. Now Dogtor alone under this tower. Don't know if he's going to be able to escape. The yo-yo comes out. Dogtor gets the outplay. Able to come in. Spinetta here as well. Is he in a very bad spot? May just go down here. Should go down here. Dogtor picks up the kill as a double to the side of MTY. But Kush is working away on that Lord.
Definitely is, and that was a great answer. I feel like for once from the side of MTY to be able to turn that around, but I feel like that could have been better, right? We saw Nappa. It seemed like he felt pressured to go for the Fatal Link. See, all he had Twinks, right? In that ultimate, he picked up the Lolita, but as soon as he went for that set, unleashing the damage, the backline that came from the side of Ackerman, they literally unfolded going in for the dive because there was nothing else as far as engagement in the way now that they had made Nappa feel like he needed to use the Fatal Links in that instance just to find that first pickoff on a roam nonetheless. But hang on here, a little engage on the jungle. They're trying to poke and jab at Khan here.
Yeah, I mean, Twinks and Galaxy doing a wonderful job of just getting vision for the team, and that's what gives Nicola even more of an advantage here, right? Here comes another teleport, and never scared to use it. Going to continuously switch position, but they go right into Mappa. Mappa looking for something, is going to get stunned up, taken out. A nice pick, a nice find for Nicolette there.
You know what? I don't know if Mappa fell asleep at the wheel there. Obviously, if you're not in the bushes Nicolette's going to, you probably can't tell. But he was in there. The circle's definitely on top of him. I don't know if he just wasn't aware that it was happening or just too slow to react. Speaking of reaction.
Oh, no reaction. Two members do get stunned up. Khan tries to go into backside with the falling Star Moon. Going to take a lot of burst, trying to get away. The burn comes in. Will escape with the life, but in comes Mappa. Big whiff on the Fatal Links, not able to connect with anyone. Spinetta also connects, but nobody is there to back him up. Destiny drops moves to the backside, but the damage just not there. Khan also getting melted down, tries to come in, but taken out by Kush there. Ackerman responds every time just a little bit better.
Nappa is looking very uncomfortable right now, but hang on, the fight's not over. It looks like potentially a siege.
Yeah, Galaxy pushing his limits. All members pushing their limits right now. They know they have this huge advantage. It only seems like 3K, but still you can feel the pressure that they're bringing, the way the composition is working. I mean, normally you don't see something like this. You know, a Bruno, a Lo Yi paired up with everyone else. But again, it just goes to show Ackerman's dynamic with whatever composition they have.
That's right. And, you know, this Lu Yi just feels like it's increased tenfold as far as value because the macro from Ackerman is just, it seems a league above, well, an MPL league team, it would seem. They're just making these plays that, you know, even if it was a great idea, just aren't available without this mage that Nicola has picked up. But because they have something that can just cross map in an instant and pretty much undetected, the whole team, we're not talking about like a Fanny or a Ling moving across the map by themselves, but the entire team's able to be in sync with these creative ideas. And it seems like MTY just can't think outside the box fast enough to see what they're going to do. Look at this teleport here. This is paranoia. That's paranoia. You would think they wouldn't do it, right? But because they made so many plays from behind them, you never know. They definitely are in a position to make those plays. Like, if they would have went for it, they might have actually been able to find the kill. They're up 5K as far as gold right now. They definitely have the damage.
Oh, big damage on a Dog Tour there. Wants to find more. Khan is going to possibly go down here. Electrifying Beats comes out. Val able to get the finish. A nice double kill. Two members down. Another teleport coming in. Back to the Lord to clean things up. And those are the plays that matter. Inhibitor does go down. Zia takes the top one as well. MTY slowly being backed up into this corner. Kush a little low on health here. Needs to be careful. Brings out the brilliance. Zia soloing them in the top side along with Galaxy. Galaxy escapes with a sliver of health.
Oh no!
And it's nothing but Spinetta against Ackerman, and they're just waiting. They're like lions at the pit right now, waiting to jump in. Zia gonna get picked off there. Nice find by Dog Tour. But it's all right. Toinks and Nicolette still not scared while this is happening. Up in the top side, they're gonna go teleport up, reposition, and help finish this Lord.
You know, I'd be so annoyed watching Nicolette pull this off again. Speaking of pulling off, Nicolette looking to go for a second flawless game. She's 2-0-8 on a Lu Yi. Not, well, I was going to say not very mobile, but proven wrong, as Nicolette's been all over the map for something that doesn't move that fast, just with that diversion in the kit. It's incredible to see, and it's definitely been a breaking point, as you can see on the mental for MTY. Everything feels like a threat. Speaking of threats, they're looking to try to eliminate one.
Points may just go down here, taking a lot of damage. Immortality pops, and in comes Nicolette and Kush, looking for the counter strike. Dog Tour Destiny go down. A hero we thought wasn't going to work. Always works in the hands of this mid lane queen right now. Nicolette doing a little bit more damage. Khan in a very bad spot. Galaxy wants to chase him down. Khan's trying to just pull him away from base because the Lord is coming. Nicolette's not going to fall for that one. Zia are here as well. Rest of the team following behind. Spinetta, a very bad spot. This is match point, and this could be the end. It's a full team wipe. And ladies and gentlemen, Ackerman do it with amazing grace. It's a 2-0 sweep to end the night.
Man, oh man, Trex. I need another word. Last time it was clinical, surgical. This one was, we'll call it lawless fatality from the side of Ackerman in this match. And Nicolette, again, MVP without a doubt in my heart. 4-0-11 with such an off the grid pick. But when you have someone like Nicolette in your mid lane, it feels like anything is potentially meta and breaking, as we could see too much for MTY to handle with this unorthodox draft.
I'm not gonna lie, you put Nicolette on a low yi and a world stage, and it could be something that brings in a new meta hero. I honestly feel that way. Like Nicolette is so good at this hero, and if other mages, like if other mid laners played it like this, it really makes you think like, wait, this works in a lot of different ways. And every time I see her play, I'm just like, God, it's so good. It is always a clutch pick, always something that she pulls out the back pocket, and I don't see her lose many games on it.
That's right. And you know what? You can definitely see the effect. I really feel like what we were talking about before, as far as that mid and roam kind of leading the way as far as the game. It's so funny to see. Destiny and Map actually have the same team fight, 56%. Same with Nicolette and Twinks here, right? And you might be able to lean that towards the fact that they both took that diversion every time it was available. But both of these mid laners and roamers being the same amount of fights for their respective teams, but clearly one side was doing a little bit more. And with the MVP in the hands of Nicolette, Twinks with those incredible sets, incredible diversion ults, you definitely see that mid and roam is a core essential piece to these victories.
Most definitely. Now, with that, that is going to be it. A nice 2-0 sweep for the NACT Ackerman team. Definitely always a pleasure casting. Any last words from you, Deku, before we throw it back over to YUWEI?
Respect the off meta.
Respect. Trust.
Trust.
Trust. Send it back over to YUWEI.
All right, beautiful, beautiful guys. What a great game coming in from Ackerman, able to 2-0 MTY esports. Now we're just gonna give a small shout out to all the casters that have been helping out today. We got Trex, Deku, and also Dave, powerhouses from the NACT squad. You know, thank you guys all for coming out to the NABA today. Now, for our match tomorrow coming up, yes, guys, this is going to be the last match of the night. You know, we've been working throughout the whole entire week, starting from Mondays all the way up to today, and tomorrow will be the grand finals. It will be AKASUKI versus Ackerman's, and this will be a best out of 5, I believe. So if you guys don't have any questions or anything else, make sure to let me know in the comments right now. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We're gonna be ending the stream here, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Faithful, anything you want to add?
No.
You got it. All right, thank you guys all for watching the stream. Again, shout outs to everyone that has joined. All your guys' comments has been received. We will see you guys again tomorrow. GG's.